recorded live in Jacksonville, Florida. This is Trivial Warfare. More than just a pub quiz, Trivial Warfare is your gateway to a worldwide trivia community. Join your hosts, Jonathan.
We just described Ric Flair as Neanderthal Man and Planet of the Apes.
Chris.
Yo, we going down to Sesame Street.
That's your impression of hardcore rap?
Carmela.
That would irritate the hell out. I'm like, I just want my groceries. My ice cream is melting.
Ben.
4 halogens in that list. Oh my God.
You were like, it's not the halogens. I'm like, no, Ben, no.
Those damn halogens got me again.
And the rest of the Trivial Warfare Army for another week of fun and games. Now here's your host, Jonathan Oakes.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Trivial Warfare. We are the podcast that takes the pub quiz out of the pub and brings it home to you. My name is Jonathan, and this is episode 300. I am here today with Chris Hollister. Hello, Chris.
Jonathan, that's an awfully nice tuxedo you're wearing. It's perfect for the occasion. Absolutely
I did. I broke out my Canadian tuxedo. I appreciate you noticing.
Yes, I think it looks fabulous on you, my friend.
Thank you. Carmela Smith is with us. Hello, Carmela.
Hello, everyone.
I am so glad you are here. And Mr. Ben Young is with us today. Hello, Ben.
Good evening.
So this is episode 300, and that can only mean that we have one specific guest with us today. Everybody say hi to Scott Barber.
Woohoo!
Hello, you beautiful people. It's so good to see all of your faces again. This is a great way to have this moment in 2020. 2020's been such a long year, but this is a great payoff toward the end of the year. So it's so good to see everybody again.
How is the TWA historian doing?
I don't know. You'll have to ask Rob Warman. I think he's taken over my gig, man. He is taking that ball and run with it. I may be the historical historian once everything's said and done.
So Scott, why don't you remind everybody where you're from, what you do, and something fun about yourself?
All right. Scott Barber from West Virginia. You'll hear me talk about it ad nauseum if you're ever around me. And most of you, a lot of you have met me at various geek bowls and whatnot. I am an accountant with the federal government, and I move a lot of fake money around for a living. And just a big trivia fan, trivia player. I hang out with a gang called the Sinister Six that are all far better players than I'll ever dream of being. That's kind of me in a quick and dirty nutshell. So
now, we are super glad you're here. And since we don't have other guests to introduce, I thought it would be fun for each of the Trivial Warfare hosts to talk a little bit about what 300 means to them and anything they want to say about the journey, a little look back. Maybe there will be some sentimentality. Maybe there will be some jokes. I don't know what you guys want to say, but Chris, we'll start with you.
Thank you, Jonathan. I just, you know what 300 means to me is 300 episodes of people. What I mean by that is we started this little trivia show, Jonathan, or at least I did, so that I can hang out with my best friend on a regular basis. I figured we'd do about 10 episodes and be done. Well, I was happily very, very wrong. And then you invited Carmela into the mix and added some needed flavor. And then you added Ben into the mix to definitely add some needed flavor. And for that, I am completely appreciative. And the other people that are just meaning a lot to me is Scott Barber is one of my fastest growing friends right now. And the fact that he's here
getting taller by the minute.
I was just thinking, is he gaining weight without telling us what's going on?
Yes, it is COVID. So
saying that Scott has lately been one of my go-to guys to kind of talk about just about anything and everything. And also he ghostwrites quite a few questions for me when I write a show just because I doubt myself. And he usually helps pick me up and dusts me off and pats me on the butt and gets back out on the field. And so I'm appreciative of that. I'm just grateful for the people. I'm grateful for the people that I don't know that have come up. One of my two fondest memories I have is one, a number of years ago, Angie and I were at Dice Tower Con. we had a very nice gentleman come up to us and say, "Hey, you're Chris Hollister, aren't you?" And I was like, "Yeah, can I help you, weirdo? What do you want?" And he was like, "Yeah, you're on my favorite podcast. You're on Trivial Warfare." And I was like, "Holy crap." And this was about year 3, I want to say. Year 3 or about year 3. So that was amazing. And then Carmela was with me with the other moment, and that was at the Las Vegas airport on our way home from Trivia Nationals. And this very nice lady came up to the both of us and says, "Hey, my boyfriend," or actually now they're married, but "my boyfriend is a really big fan of yours, and can he come over here and take a picture with the two of y'all?" Carmela and I looked at each other and was like, "Sure, but it's just us. We're just people." And so, and they both came over. We're really had a very nice conversation. They went on their way. We went on our way, and it was just lovely. But it's just given me a smile on my face ever since. And just for everybody that I've met, either online, on web, on in person even, I just want to say thank you. I'm really blessed and grateful to have been a part of it for sure. So that's the best part of the show for me, is the people.
Absolutely. Carmela, you're up.
So, I mean, 6 years is a really long time, and I think that's an accomplishment, and it's been a really fun ride. And other than my actual day job, I've never really done anything for 6 years before. I am super bad at maintaining relationships with people. And so the fact that we're here 6 years later and I'm still recording with you guys and still having a great time, that's personally for me, that's an accomplishment on a personal level. And I appreciate that. Of course, I love meeting everybody. I've done quite a bit of traveling, an opportunity that's been afforded to me because of doing this show, which is amazing. I have an amazing Geek Bowl team that are like some of my best friends in the whole world. Of course, everyone knows I love Scott Barber.
And I love you.
Yeah, just the amazing people that I've met along the way. And that's probably true for all of us, to think that it's really the people that have kept us going as long as we have been. If nobody was listening, we would have stopped doing it a long time ago. So I appreciate each and every one of you out there. Thank you so much for listening and affording us the opportunity to be here. So thank you.
It's awesome. Ben?
I would say 300 episodes for me has really been about growth. You know, when Chris kind of talked to me about being a host on the show, I didn't really understand what that meant. I've played trivia. I've been on academic teams in high school and stuff like that. But just show up and start answering questions and then trying to write questions. I'm not that good of a trivia player, so it was a really bumpy start for me when I attempted to start writing and hosting games, because I asked questions that nobody would ever know. And that was just but it was an opportunity for me to grow and to learn, and to learn from all of you and the feedback that you've given me, to learn from the feedback that we've gotten from our listeners in terms of understanding how trivia works, and growth in terms of not realizing just how massive the trivia community is and how it just pervades every aspect of our lives. You know, when you watch television, even on ESPN 30 for 30, they'll do trivia breaks, or during football games, they have trivia questions scrolling across, and just how pervasive trivia has become. For me, also, it's growing comfortable with people that I've never met, that I've had a positive impact on their lives as a result of the work that I've done collectively with all of you on this show, and watching others grow alongside me and us during this process. And the 5+ years that we've been doing this, it's easy for you to take for granted that you've got something good going, that you've got a popular show with a fan base that is very loyal and brings you so much joy. But I always have told myself that I never wanted to get completely comfortable with this. I always wanted this to be special, and I always wanted to be a little bit surprised by the impact that we're having, because I feel like it motivates me to continue to have that impact. So 300 episodes that's 300 times that we've had a chance to positively impact people in big ways and small. So I've grown a lot, and I look forward to growing a whole lot more.
Thank you, Ben.
That was well said, Ben.
Oh. And then on my side, obviously, I want to reiterate a lot of what Chris, Carmela, and Ben have said. The people are number one. I'm a part of a lot of different groups of people, whether it's groups on Messenger, little group chats, or games, or whatever the case is. And Stuart Everett mentioned to me the other day, he said, Jonathan, you're the reason that we're all in this little group together. And he was talking about one of the ones we're in together. And I said, that's not that big a deal. He's like, no, dude, seriously, you might be like the central person in every group you're in. And I'm like, well, that's not damn true. Don't say that kind of thing. And I started thinking about it, though. And I started thinking about us. And I started thinking about Trivial Warfare. And it's really cool to think that we're like a body a body has connective tissue that goes all throughout it, right? Like inside of your body, you have a fascia that covers all of your organs and runs from your entire body has this stuff in it. And that's kind of what we are in the trivia community. We're not everything. We're not the brain. We're not the lungs. We're not the heart. We're not whatever, right? But we're one of the big connectors that has brought people together. And the idea that so many people have relationships now with so many other people, friendships, great friendships, is something that fills me with joy every time I think about it. And I was thinking about this today. I was thinking about what I wanted to say and what I felt and all the rest of it. And it struck me, for those of you who have known me a long, long, long time, you might recall that one of the things that I always focused on, one of the things that I cared about most personally in my life was creating a legacy. I always wanted to have a legacy, something that would be left behind after my life was over. And it occurred to me today, obviously it's occurred to me before that Trivial Warfare is a legacy, but it occurred to me today that this very well might be my life's work. When you look back at the end of your life at what you accomplished, and however long we end up doing this, but when I think about the impact to everybody that's engaged with it, this very well might be the thing that I end up being most proud of at the end of my life. I get overwhelmed when I think about that. And so from me to everybody listening, we love you and thank you for being part of this. And we hope we put on a great show for you today.
Thank you very much.
Well said.
And thank you for sticking with us this year, because I know it's been a hard year for all of us. It's been a hard year for all of us in general. It's been kind of hard to record, at least for me. It's been hard to record the show because we've had to pretty much completely change our setup with how we record. We used to all be, at least the four main people used to all be in one room. Now we're all in separate parts of the city or in the country like normal, but it makes recording much, much more challenging and probably much harder to edit.
It's not as clean as it used to be, I'll tell you that.
I appreciate you, everyone kind of sticking with us through while we figured out this new setup and sticking with us.
Absolutely.
So that means a lot to me as well.
Yep. And then Jonathan, just want to say thank you to you for not only having that vision. I don't know what episode it was that you said, you know what, we need to branch out a little bit more and do a little bit more, but I'm grateful you did. Because again, you've because of that decision, because of the decision to bring Carmela in, because of the decision to bring Ben in on an all the time basis, I have closer friendships, and for that I am forever grateful.
I want to make it clear, I can't take credit for that at all. You were instrumental in Ben and Carmela joining this show. And not only that, they were instrumental in the reason that they kept being invited back, because they were so much fun and they did such a great job
they were dang
that
good.
It was impossible not to invite them back. That's why they're here. It's not because I wanted them here, and it's not because of anything that one of us did. It's because of what they did. And so we appreciate them.
Because if you notice, it's not Kel that's back. It's Carmela that was back.
We need the Kel.
Oh, wow. Kel's
Chris
not even here to
basically
defend
just
himself.
said, get Kel.
All right. So, guys, it's time for Warm It Up, Chris.
It's time to warm it up on Trivial Warfare today. And there's only one person who can warm it up for the TWA, and that's Chris. And sometimes Jonathan.
Woo!
Many thanks to the Fifth Beatle, if Trivial Warfare, Katie Sikelski, because without Katie, Jonathan wouldn't have his head on straight.
Man, shout out to Katie for real. Y'all, since bringing her on almost a year ago, she has made my life immeasurably better, and I can't appreciate Katie enough. Publicly, out loud, to everybody, thank you, Katie, for being awesome and for doing everything you do to help this show run.
Amen.
She keeps us on time. She does all of our scheduling. I mean, I give her such short notice sometimes for scheduling foreplay, and she's like, got it. And then like an hour later, she's got me people lined up exactly when I need them to be. So thank you, Katie.
So because of Katie and her meticulous bookkeeping, I asked Jonathan the other day, I said, hey, Jonathan, I've got this idea. And Jonathan's like, no, don't do that. That's a bad idea. However,
I'd say it was a bad idea.
This is a much better idea. And then he told it to me, and I was like, oh, that's fabulous. So hosts, Carmela, Ben, Scott, Jonathan, there have been 29 non-host, meaning non-Jonathan, non-Chris, non-Ben, non-Carmela warheads that have been on 4 or more episodes of Trivial Warfare. And since we are doing a 300th episode celebration, we are going to celebrate our Patreon members by saying, who has been on the show the most? So if they have been on for 4 or more episodes, I want you to name them.
You know who has the most to lose from this, right? It's
Who's
Jonathan. Jonathan has the most.
Jonathan can't remember anybody. Listen, y'all, I've been here 299 times. Maybe I've been here 298 times. Forgive me if I've forgotten. Chris,
Anyway,
one question for you. Does this include bonuses and After Darks and whatnot?
It does, as a matter of fact.
Okay.
And also it includes today's episode, just to let you know, and 301, just to let everybody know. We've already recorded 301 a little bit before this one. So, Scott Barber, I'm not going to choose you. You're not going to go first, so that's okay. We're going to go in order. Jonathan Oakes, you get to go first, my friend.
I'm going to say Scott freaking Barber.
Scott Barber, number 2 on the list with 12 appearances.
Is that true?
Don't forget the tournament, dude. Remember the tournament? That got you like 4 episodes in.
Yeah, I made it to the finals of the tournament before getting my head kicked in, so that's right.
Hey, we all got our heads kicked in. Let's be honest
by
with
the same guy.
Yeah. Carmela, you are next, my friend.
Well, I mean, I could pick the person who won the tournament, which if we get there, I'll come back to it. But I'm going to go with Lauren Carey. Lauren's been on a bunch.
Lauren Carey, she has actually been on 4 different times, so that is correct. Ben Young.
The original general, David Levacy.
David Levacy, number 1. 13.
Took my answer.
Scott, just to let you know, he is your Alec Baldwin.
He's the one I'm just behind.
That's right.
And there's no tournament in there boosting him. That's 13 full-on huge episodes.
That's true. All right, so Scott, what are you thinking?
Well, if I don't choose one of my Sin 6 teammates, I'm in the doghouse with them. So I'm kind of like I'm in the same boat as Jonathan in that I've got a little bit to lose with that. So I'll go with the machine, Jeffrey Sigurton.
Jeffrey, number 4 on the list with 8 appearances. Well done. All right.
Does he really have 8? That is stunning to me.
He also had a run in the tournament. That's how we met, is that I beat him in the tournament.
You beat him in the tournament?
I beat him head-to-head in the tournament, yes.
But you still think you're the lower link in the Sin 6?
Dude,
holy crap.
it was,
I can't stress enough how long ago the tournament was.
It was 250 episodes ago.
It was March of 2016.
All right, so going into round 2, Jonathan, you're up.
I have literally forgotten the name of every person who's been on this show. I'm not even fronting right now. I'm like, holy crap. But if After Dark counts, then I'm going with my man, Nick Groves.
Nick Groves, your company computer guy, 5 times. Well done. Carmela.
Well, let's go with the guy who kicked my face in during the tournament. Let's go Russ Friedwald.
Russ Friedwald, number 3 on the list with 9 times.
9 times.
That's right. Ben.
I'm officially out of guesses now.
Oh.
I'm going to go with Katie Sikelski.
Katie Sikelski, well done. She has 5 appearances.
You know how long it's been since Katie's been on? It's like, oh my God, she's been on 5 times.
No,
She was on this summer.
She was just on a couple months ago.
Oh,
Didn't she?
that's right.
She hosted.
Yeah.
It's really, I don't know. I didn't anticipate this, but it's warming my freaking heart to think about people who have been with us for 5 and 6 years.
Yeah.
That is true. All right, Mr. Barber, to round it off.
Let's go. I know he's been on a few times, so I'll just guess Wesley Wells.
Wesley Wells 4 times, and that is absolutely on the list. So great job. So everybody's 2 for 2. We're going into round 3. Jonathan, who are you thinking?
I'm going with somebody who I hope picked up number 4 today in episode 301. I'm guessing Ricky Young.
Ricky Young. He has been on 3 times.
Oh,
John.
no!
3 times.
Including
First
today! No!
times. All right,
Just
I'm so
a bit
sorry.
outside.
That's right. Carmela.
Well, I can't say Lauren and not also say Trish Layton.
Trish Layton. Actually, I do not think she is on the list, but I'm checking. Yeah, because she's not a Patreon.
Oh,
So
I
she's
picked somebody
hosted.
completely wrong.
yes, that is incorrect.
She's not on the list because she's not a patron, Carmela. But
Oh, sorry,
she's been there
I
4
need-
times. She was hosting.
I'm like, I know damn well she's been on the show
Yeah.
more than 4 times.
My apologies.
Okay, so pick someone from the
Yes.
Patreon list. Okay.
Yes, please.
Let's try Dustin Rush.
Dustin Rush. 3 times for Dustin Rush. I'm terribly
Aw.
sorry.
We need to get
All
Dustin
right.
on more.
You're not wrong. He's great. They're all
Yeah, he's great.
Everybody's great.
I don't
If
know.
you're listening to this, you're great.
Yes.
No, you're great.
Great.
I'm going to guess Bonneman.
No,
Bonneman? Nope.
just the one.
The great and powerful Steve Bonham.
Steve Bonneman's been on 1 time. I'm terribly sorry, Ben.
Ooh.
All right. So now, Scott.
I'm just going to keep going down my teammates until we get to one.
It's not a bad move. They're on
Yeah.
my list over here.
Let's just go Dan Lundberg.
Dan Lundberg has been 4 times on the show. Well done. All right. So now we're going into round 4. Jonathan, what you thinking?
One of my all-time favorite people, even though I don't get to talk to her as much as I used to, Erin Barkley.
Erin Barkley, 6 times. She
I
is
almost
1,
said
2,
Erin
3,
Barkley.
4,
My
5.
teammate.
She is 5th.
I almost said Aaron Barkley.
5th. Great job. Carmela.
You stole my teammate. A lot of people have been on this show, which is awesome. But I'm like, have they been on more than once? Let's try Bill Patchak.
Bill.
2 or 3.
Bill.
I know it's at least twice, so it was a good one to start with.
But the last one was as a sponsor, so it wasn't as a patron.
Bill
But he's still a
was,
patron,
was
right?
2
No.
times.
Yeah.
2 times as a patron. So I'm terribly sorry, Carmela.
Lame.
All right.
Let me down, Bill.
Ben Young.
There's a big one out there that nobody's named that I'm naming next time if it comes back to me.
All right, Ben Young.
Yeah, I'm just having a hard time because I have a hard time remembering people's names.
Think about poker last night. You bought somebody in.
I'm going to go with Drew Bucksbaum.
5 times. Well done, Ben.
Nice.
All right. Scotty Barber, what do you got?
Just going to keep on naming teammates until
Keep
one
that gravy
misses.
train.
That's right. Do I go Phil or Mike? Let's go Mike Cameron.
Mike Cameron, 5 times on
There
the
we
show.
go.
Well
Yep.
done. All right, we're going to go one more round just for funsies, and then we'll let Jonathan Jonathan and Carmela see if they can spot some names.
Nah, I'm
Art
so
Carmela.
blanking so hard. You don't even understand.
All right, so Jonathan, who you thinking?
I gave Chris the idea. I did not study. I did not prepare.
That is clearly evident.
I
my
mean, I
friend.
could have looked at least at the list of the generals and the colonels and the lieutenant colonels and gotten a bunch of names from it. But I'm going to go with a colonel who's been a colonel for a while, and that's Rob Warman.
Rob Warman. Not looking good for you, my friend.
Come on.
He hasn't been on very much.
He's at least
a question
3.
writer.
He writes a lot, but I don't know that he's on a lot.
Hold on. Actually, I'm not seeing him on here at all. We may have to question the validity. Oh, wait. I missed it 4 times.
Thank you.
Nailed it.
All right. My
Yeah,
apologies,
and Rob
Jonathan.
just joined us like 2 years ago. He hadn't been with us that long. He's been on quite a bit.
That was picnic error. That was problem in chair and Chris's chair, not in his computer. All right, Carmela, you're up.
Problem in Chris, not in
Yes. That is actually correct.
Problem, Chris, not in computer.
That's brilliant.
Oh, goodness. Do I take the last member of Sin 6?
Take it. It's free game.
Yeah, because Phil's been on quite a lot. Let's try it. Phil Sanford.
Phil Sanford 4 times is correct. Well done. You stole Scotty's ammo. All right.
The thing about the Sin 6, every one of y'all have been with us for 5-year minimum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, that's how we met, was through the show. So, yeah.
Okay, so Ben.
I want to guess Kontad Svensgaard.
Ooh, that's possible.
Untitled.
I know he's on 2 Black History
Two,
Month
and at
episodes.
least one with AJ Mass. I think he might have 4.
Did we record? We've recorded content recently, haven't we?
Todd has been on 3 times.
Oh.
3 times.
Just missed.
2 Black History and the one with AJ when they were teamed
right.
up.
Yeah.
All right.
Need to fix that.
I
And
love
for the last
Kontad.
time, Scotty B.
Well, my teammate got poached earlier, so
Yoink.
You want to poach one of
let's
hers?
go. No, you know what? I'm going to go with Cheyenne Fletcher.
Solid choice.
Actually, Shan has been on 3 times.
Oh, does that include the most recent After Dark?
She did not say, but I'm going to trust that that's a yes.
I need to get him on more.
So let's talk about who's left on the list. Unless, Carmela, you have a few more that you would like to name out.
Oh,
You've got some teammates.
I was wondering
I
about
just-
Liz Hudson.
Believe it or not, only 2 times for Liz is on the list.
Yeah.
So.
yeah. She was on once with I think Stacy, and then again with Stacy when we did
In
the Massachusetts
Boston.
State House one.
The thing, what happens is various people that you guys don't know about, because I don't talk about who's a patron and who's not. Various people have come and gone from the patron ranks, and so they don't get a bunch of appearances as a result.
Yeah.
Right. And it happens.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, I'm
you
not judging anybody's money situations.
know. No.
Anybody
Lay it
else?
on us, Christopher.
All right. So the 6 times, Nick Suberling.
Oh, Nick,
Oh,
tournament
Nick.
in the early
He was-
days.
Yes,
My
he was. He
Bengals-
was on quite a bit in the early days. For
Love
sure.
Nick.
Bengals guy. Love
Yes.
it.
5 times, Chris Eve.
Chris.
Wow, Chris.
Chris Eve. How'd I forget Chris?
Again, he was the one that beat me in the tourney. So, I
Tournament
mean, he
man.
was on
Yep.
that tournament. 5 times also, Rob Cotter.
Heck yeah, Rob
makes
Cotter.
sense.
Rob.
Man,
Yeah,
the myth, the
again.
legend.
That's
Yep.
right.
Trivia with
All right.
RJ.
Shout out to Rob.
Now everybody else is 4. We got Andy Saunders, Ashley Sutherland, Eric Sutherland, Holly Axtell, Jeremy Conman, Josh Mullen, Lee
thought
DeGeorge, Matt Chestnut, Michael Turner, Shara Hinkle, Stacy McPeak, and William Travis. And then obviously we have a lot of people that have been here for 3 times.
You don't have to
and
read that
God
list.
bless you for it. I am not, but it's 30 people have been on 3 times, and then a lot have been on here. But we have had we've had 265 people on our show, Jonathan.
Wow.
265 people
That's a lot.
or Patreons that have been on our show. So again, to all you 265 and to future guests, thank you very much. We can't wait to have you on again.
That's amazing. Wow.
Ovation for the
Great
patrons.
warm it
It's
up,
a, it's
by
a
the way.
patron ovation. So this is episode 300. We are celebrating the show. We're celebrating our patrons. We are just super happy to be here, and I think we've talked enough. So today's game, it's Chris versus Ben versus Carmela versus Jonathan. Scott is hosting, and it's time to play the game.
Players. Oh, yeah. Y'all know what time it is. This is Mr. Literature himself, cordially inviting you to the game. This is 6 rounds of trivia goodness. 3 questions per round. Every right answer gets you 10 points. In the middle, we'll take a pause for the cause and ask a midpoint question worth up to 20 juicy points. After round 6, you can wager any or all those points you've been building up and take a shot at the final round. It's a series of theme-based questions we call the Gauntlet. It's just that easy, baby. But this game ain't gonna play itself, players. Let's get it on.
So, Scott, we're going to turn it over to you.
If you've never listened to one of the Centennial shows before, what we've done in 100 and 200 and now 300 is I've researched and collected past episodes where a question's been asked that has stumped everyone on the game. And I try to find games where it's the 4 hosts who have missed the question. It can't always be done because they're not always playing on every game. So for a substitute, I've added games where one of you hosted and the other 3 played, but the question was either written by somebody else or hopefully out of your wheelhouse. So not a lot of those, but I've collected a bunch here. So we're going. The point of this is to see if you learned anything from what you've missed and been able to retain it to now. And these are older episodes, relatively older. I'd say it's about a year old or more for some of these. So we're going to see how well you're able to retain some of the knowledge. Now, with that being said, the halftime and the final are unique because those are big points. So I wanted to make those as unique questions to give everybody a level playing field for that. That's how the Centennial Games works, and that's how 300 is going to work.
It's always so stressful because you never really think about what you learned or what you didn't. But I'll tell you this, I retain less now than I've ever retained at any point in my life. Just in general, nothing to do with this show. Just I'm retaining less, so I don't predict a good outcome for me.
What's the name of the hockey player?
Sittler.
Sittler.
We're going to Sittler.
I finally got that right at
Yes, you
Trivia
did.
Nationals.
And you got it right on 200. So
that's right. And don't forget about Crapper.
John Crapper.
John Crapper. That's right.
Don't forget about the Newberry Cherry.
Newberry Cherry.
Newberry Cherry is not the right answer, guys. It's not the right answer. It's like a raw raspberry or something, or an apple.
Only one man would give me the raspberry. Lone Star.
I think I'm going to make a projection. I think Carmela's going to win this game. I think she is. I think she is actually on the upswing in the amount of things she can remember, and so she's my predicted winner.
Well, Jonathan, I believe you won the 100 and the 200. So
I was smarter then.
I hope you're right.
I was smarter then.
I can say confidently that this is a challenging set.
Oh, God.
And I think that's a testament to the fact that
you made it at 9 o'clock, Scott.
I think there's a testament more to the fact that you're getting to be better players over time, and the ones that you miss are questions that are relatively tough.
God, I'm going to get 0 points.
I'm hoping you all have learned a lot between.
No. We're stressed. Anybody else stressed?
Oh, I'm sweating.
I'm stressed.
Listen, let me tell you something. I sit on these episodes not knowing any of this damn stuff anyway. So what do I have to be stressed about? This is a normal game for me.
I will tell you a secret. I'm always stressed. It's my baseline.
You're like the Hulk for anxiety.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
It's like I have a secret.
Going into the final, we have a 4-way tie at 40 points.
0.
So again, I've pulled these questions from older episodes, and again, they're all misses. And by the way, before we get started, I do have to give a shout out to all of the people who worked on the Trivial Warfare debrief webpage.
Nick Grove's project, yes, the Google Drive.
That was invaluable for this because it took what was hours and hours and hours of work for me and whittled it down a lot.
I'm going to put a link in the show notes for this episode. So if you look in your podcast app right now, you're going to see a link inside of the description. That's a link to the debrief. You can see the historical questions that have been coded, and you can see what's missing. There's a lot of stuff missing. Nick couldn't rally everybody for long enough to get it all done. So if you're interested in helping to fill in those gaps, we would love to have a full record for people to use and to pull from. And whenever they need a question, they can go out there and grab one. It's for everybody. So I'd love to see it get all the way filled out.
And this debrief is amazing. It goes into meta detail of the shows. It says timestamps, who won, who lost, where the titles come from. It really is a fantastic historical document for everything Trivial Warfare. Even if you're not using it for anything, it's fun to go out there and just see some of the questions and there's a lot of really, really, really high quality questions out there.
Yep.
So again, shout out to Nick Grove, shout out to Rob Warman, who did a ton of work on here, Gage Meyer, Steve Ellison, Jennifer Vaughn. And
at one point I sent, because I have every question set I've ever written from 2015 forward, and I sent them all to Rob because I write it in a very consistent format. He's like, send me all your questions. I said, okay. So I sent him all, the hundreds of episodes. He's like, cool. And then he put it all in the debrief.
That's amazing.
So thank you, Rob.
Awesome.
Again, shout out, because that helped me tremendously in researching for this show. So with that being said, let's start the game. Your first question in round number 1 comes from Trivial Warfare 162, Zatarains, hosted by...
Yeah. No. Jonathan is Zatarains. Yeah.
Much better. Much better than I can do it. It doesn't sound right in this Appalachian accent, so I'm glad you picked me up on that. So, episode hosted by Ben Young in the category of Science. Costochondritis. That's
I'm out.
Costochondritis is inflammation of a joint between two bones. Name either of the two bones.
Go again.
Costochondritis is inflammation of a joint between two bones, but it's a specific two bones. Name either of the two bones.
On the positive side, we don't have to text anybody. On the negative side, we don't have anybody we can text.
Yep. Can we just partner up now?
You know what? It's the first question. I was going to say it's the first question, and your show, so you can do whatever you want.
No. It is time to play.
Damn it.
Yeah.
You got a 1 in 206 shot at this.
Golly, Costo.
I'm gonna lock in.
Locked in with my wrong answer.
I'm gonna lock in. Ben, you can talk out loud.
All right. So I wrote this question out because Tashina had this, and she was prescribed. I think that I may be way off with this, but I'm thinking that she was diagnosed with this and was given medication for it. And I remember making the joke on the show that says that costochondritis is people who are addicted to shopping at Costco. And I'm trying to remember what this would be, but if you're saying either of the two bones, I'm going to say the anvil in your ear.
Oh.
And I'll lock in with that.
All right. On my side, I eliminated joints that had 3 bones going into them. So like your knee and your elbow, and because that's more than 2 bones, right? So I was looking for joints that had just 2. I ended up going with mandible.
All right. And for me, as you guys may not know this, but I'm not very good at science questions.
Oh.
So I know 2 bones without a shadow of doubt besides the ear bone. And I guess I could have gone ear bone from what Ben was saying, but I know the tibula and the fibula from a Scrubs episode. So I said tibula. That's my wrong answer.
It's not even a bone, dude.
I was going to say, I think it's tibia, but that's
whatever.
What you know what?
Wrong.
It's from My Musical. It's from that episode.
That's right. It's 10 o'clock, Scott. This is your fault.
Wow, the blame has started.
I've got broad shoulders. I can take it. It's fine.
I hedged and went with something that you have a lot of. That's why I said ribs.
Originally, again, Ben hosted, so he didn't have an opportunity to answer. Originally, all 3 of you, Chris, Carmela, Jonathan, all said femur. So I was thinking maybe hip joint was what you were thinking.
Okay.
The answer is sternum and rib.
Oh, ooh, Carmela.
Carmela with the pull.
Nice.
Yeah, I even looked it up after the fact. It's just an inflammation where it attaches in the middle there. So yeah,
that sucks. God, that would hurt.
That would suck, right?
All right.
So question number 2 from episode 183, and that episode is titled "Woo." Woo! Hosted by Ben Young, written by Alistair Bell.
Yeah, Alistair.
Category is business.
Business.
In 2017, Susan Fowler was featured as one of Time Magazine's Person of the Year for her role in exposing sexual harassment in Silicon Valley during her tenure as an engineer at what company?
I have a feeling I'm about to say something that we said then.
That's the beauty of the show.
Yeah.
Because you can't remember exactly the context of what words you heard, but you can get vague recollections of words from that moment. And
That's
that
the
might
beauty of the
be
show.
it might be the ones that were wrong.
Chris is just thankful that there's no negative points in this show, and he is locked in.
I don't remember this at all.
I have a vague recollection of it. You know what? I'm gonna change I'm locked in.
I'm literally flipping a coin.
Me too, but I'm going to lock in.
Oh, she flipped the coin right into the microphone, y'all.
Sure did. Sure did. All right. Well, I was between two answers. Those two answers were Google and Apple. They're both probably wrong, but I don't remember this at all. And I literally flipped a coin that I have on my desk, and it came up heads, and heads is Google. So I'm going to say Google.
I also flipped a mental coin. I was between Uber and Apple, and I was about to go Uber, and I changed it to Apple at the last minute.
Would not surprise me if it was Uber, though.
Yeah.
I really wish I had you as a partner. I would have talked you into Uber. Instead, I wrote IBM. I just was like, let's get the biggest bully on the block.
And I was flipping a coin between Google and Amazon, and I picked Amazon.
All right. Well, last time around, Jonathan, you and Chris were on a team, and you chose Google. And Carmela, you were on a team with Matthew Stevens, and you chose Google.
I picked the same answer.
The answer is Uber.
Darn it! I had the choice, and I went away from it at the last minute.
As
Like
soon
I
as you
said,
said Uber, I was like, yep.
Carmela was the same way. As soon as he said Uber, I was like, that's why I wish he was on my team right now.
I had it, and I gave it away. Okay. This is a war of attrition, y'all.
It is.
If you get one question right per round, you're doing good.
I did say at the beginning, this is a challenging set. So you're welcome.
What can I say except you're welcome?
For the blood and the tears and the cries.
Your last question, round number one, it comes from Trivia Warfare 229, the Edmund Fitzgerald episode.
All right.
This one was hosted by Carmela, and the question is written originally by Steve Ellison.
Thank you, Steve.
Your question is in the category of geography.
Geography.
Excluding the quirky pairing of Rome and Vatican City, what are the two closest capital cities in Europe? These Central European cities are both on the Danube River and are separated by only 56 kilometers as the crow flies, and yet, during the Cold War, they were on the opposite sides of the Iron Curtain. I can give a reread if you'd like.
No, I remember this stupid question. I remember this question.
Let me defend Steve Ellison here for a second. The question's not stupid. It's a very good question.
No, the players
It's a
are
very
stupid.
Steve question because he's he's
The
very
players are
familiar with
stupid.
that area of the world.
He used to give tours there.
I think this is picnic ending in a queue problem. Is Chris not in question?
Please note, when I say stupid, I say out of love. All right?
Stupid love. Crazy stupid love.
You need two answers on this, correct?
Please?
I'm locked in. What's funny, I just realized I can still change it until everybody else is locked in, until the person talks. So I'm keep thinking.
Jonathan has tentatively locked in.
I'm locked in. So now Jonathan has to unlock.
I think I'm in the right ballpark.
I'm going to lock in.
It's a big ballpark.
All right, Carmela can talk.
I don't remember capitals.
She's like, okay, there's Ottawa.
British Columbia.
God, I don't even know if I can name all was it 10 or 11 provinces in Canada and plus the 3 territories?
Yeah, it's not easy. It's easy to a lot of people, though.
Yeah,
It
they're
is.
called Canadians.
Yes. And other various smart individuals.
Yeah. I feel really bad. Steve is my friend. I think Chisinau is the capital of Moldova, but I don't know what's around it. I kind of want to name another Eastern European city and just be done with it. Because I'm not going to get
Wait, we only had to name one, right?
No, you had to name both.
I named both.
Well, I'm
both
wrong.
cities.
Okay.
If my other one is not something that you guys have named, can I put it down?
I mean, she hasn't named any cities yet, so
She named
technically you can still
Chisinau.
name it.
But there was another one I was debating between these two. Am I allowed to write that down really quick since you haven't said it?
I'm okay with that.
If you say no, I'm
I
going to
don't
live with
care.
you.
I don't care.
The odds of any of us getting this right is super small. So go ahead.
All right, I'm there.
I'll say Chisinau and Belgrade. I don't even know if Belgrade's a capital city or if they're even anywhere near each other.
It
But
is a
that's what I'm gonna
capital
say.
city.
Okay.
It is.
Cool.
Okay, so I went with two capitals that start with the same two letters. I said Bucharest and Budapest.
Ooh. All right.
Okay.
Ben, I think Jonathan and I were on this show as team together, and I think we said like Berlin and Paris
No,
or
we
something
didn't.
around that.
No way.
Okay.
I hope we
I think
didn't.
I think Berlin was in it though. But anyway, but I said Madrid and Lisbon.
Okay.
And I was trying to think of countries that would border each other on different sides of the Iron Curtain. So I thought maybe Hungary and Czechoslovakia bordered each other. So I said Budapest and Prague.
That's not bad.
All right. So last time around, Ben and Chris, you were on team with Ben
Oh, okay.
in the original game. And on the original game, you guessed Budapest and Sarajevo.
Boy, was I wrong.
Jonathan, you were playing solo, and you guessed Berlin and Prague. The answer is Vienna and Bratislava.
I never would have gotten
Yeah.
there.
Yep.
I need.
Bratislava is the capital of what country? Does anyone know?
Is it
give me a
Slovenia?
second.
Maybe
That sounds right.
Yep.
Geography is traditionally...
Slovakia.
Slovakia.
Oh.
Oh, it was close.
Yeah, Slovenia, Slovakia, Hassenpfeffer Incorporated. Yeah.
At the end of the first round, the score is 10-0. Carmela has 10. Jonathan, Chris, and Ben have nothing.
Bro.
Is it too late for the four of us to work together against
Yeah,
the
I think,
show?
yeah, it's possible that, yeah, that might be a brilliant idea.
I'm tempted, but I also want to see how this plays out. I might be
10-point
glutton for
lead.
punishment.
With the final score of 5-0, Carmela is
Carmela bets 5 for no good reason.
Our angst will be entertaining.
Your first question in round number 2 comes from Trivial Warfare 184, God of Thunder.
Oh yes, was that Paul Paquette?
Yes, that's exactly right.
All right.
And hosted by it was hosted by Carmela.
Yeah, but Paul's a player.
Paul's on it.
Yep.
Yes. And question comes from Brandon Pisani.
Thank you, Brandon.
And it's in the category of somewhere out there. There are 60 U.S. national parks, but only 58 of them are in the United States. That includes Alaska and Hawaii. The other 2 are on U.S. territory islands. One is in the Caribbean, and the other is in the South Pacific. Where are these 2 national parks?
So
What
country?
territories is the question?
Territories. Yes, that's essentially what it comes down to, is the 2 territories.
You know, the questions, it's no wonder 2 of the 4 questions we've been asked so far were named 2 of, and that
multiple answers,
always
yes.
makes it harder.
Chris is locked in with his wrong answer.
Good.
Did you go with Lisbon and Madrid again?
I did, as a matter of fact. How did you know that?
All right, I'm gonna give this a shot. I'm locked in.
Good news is I think I remember one of them.
I do too.
And it's trying to figure out what that other one is. I gotta stop asking questions where there's 2 answers.
I'm going to lock in.
All right, so I think I do remember one of these. And I think it was because I think, oh, well, that's fair. It's got the word American in it. So that should be good enough, right? I think I remember American Samoa being one of them. So that's the one in the Pacific. So I was trying to figure out which one it is in the Caribbean. Puerto Rico is not a bad guess. Then there's the U.S. Virgin Islands. And I am sure I am forgetting somewhere in the Caribbean that we also have a territory in. But I do know that there's at least those two. I feel like my cousin does a lot of travel. At least she did in the before days. And she would go to Puerto Rico. And she's definitely a parks person. She would have told me about a park if she went there. And she didn't last time she went to Puerto Rico. So I'm going to go with the other one. And I'm going to say American Samoa and the U.S. Virgin Islands.
I love your answers, and I want to crib them.
Okay. I went with America's.
Is he going to let me do that? I mean, that's amazing.
Right show. No,
I figured that's what you wrote down.
No, no, it's not what I wrote down. I'm saying I want to crib them. That means cheat. Yeah, no, I said Guam and Puerto Rico.
It wouldn't surprise me if it was Puerto Rico, honestly.
I think American Samoa is right, though. That was the one I was debating with Guam, and I think you're right.
I did American Samoa because that sounded familiar, and Puerto Rico.
Ooh, Chris, all right.
I did same as Jonathan, Puerto Rico and Guam.
Did anybody get it? Scott, I want you give us some hope. Did anybody get it right?
Yes.
Oh.
There is a right answer among you.
You just have to combine
this is like this is like trying to find the imposter in Among Us right now.
Oh, Chris is sus.
In the last game, Paul, you and Ben were on Ben, you and Paul were on a team, and Chris and Jonathan were on a team, and everyone answered Puerto Rico and Guam.
Oh, damn!
The correct answer is American Samoa and U.S. Virgin Islands.
Woo! Oh, Carmela!
Carmela has doubled up.
Carmela is so sus.
She has a commanding lead.
Well, that's the game then. So thanks for listening to Trivia Warfare 300.
Somebody get her to an airlock.
Your second question in round number 2 comes from Trivia Warfare 164 Sleeper Cell.
Mike Sleeper in the house.
Hosted and written by Mike Sleeper. And your category is American Government.
Government.
This was a fun episode where the 4 of you were all contestants. The Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives falls under which of the president's cabinet members?
Chris is locked in.
I know which group of people I want to name. I don't know what the cabinet is for it. This is the type of question where I just desperately need a partner.
You're seriously thinking about that phone a friend now, aren't you?
The reason that, these are so hard is because we missed them the first time.
That's exactly
right.
Not
just that, but with help, we missed them.
Yes.
And it's 3 years ago, so the memory is definitely not keeping up.
Yeah,
we recorded this in the apartment.
Yeah, Mike, this is an apartment episode.
Yes. You know what? I'm just going to circle my wrong answer. I'm locked in. Only one way to get to the end of this game is to take my medicine.
To go through it.
That's right.
I'm hoping for a strong midpoint and gauntlet. If I have any points.
I'm going to lock in. I'm between 2. And I probably answered one of these last time. So.
And what comes to mind immediately is Homeland Security, but I figured that's probably not the right answer. In fact, that may have been an answer I gave the last time. I'm going to go with Department of the Interior.
All right.
I'm going to lock in with that.
Chris, what do you got?
I thought about it, and then I remembered that the Secret Service is part of the Treasury Department, and so I put Treasury.
Okay. Carmela?
Homeland Security was one that I was bouncing around, but again, that's probably what I answered last time. I thought it was something weird, so I put Department of Agriculture. I don't know. I don't have a good reason. Apparently, I don't know my government very well. Hooray.
I feel
feeling the indifference.
I feel very strongly that whatever is responsible for the Border Patrol is also responsible for this. And I can't remember what cabinet member Border Patrol falls under. I believe I said Homeland Security last time, so I didn't want to answer this time. I ended up going the same direction as Chris. I said Treasury.
Jonathan, last time you and Ben were on a team. And your collective answer was Secretary of Homeland Security.
Yeah.
Chris and Carmela teamed up and said, my boss, in sort of a, I guess, 4 steps up, Secretary of Treasury.
Oh, man.
The answer...
Probably from the Secret Service angle again.
The answer, which I didn't hear at any point in time, Attorney General.
Oh, wow.
That makes sense.
Which makes sense. It does make sense.
I didn't think about that at all.
So bad at
I was
this.
thinking of secretaries, not, you know.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
I have a block when it comes to Bill Barr.
What a great title. Everybody else has to be a Secretary of Blah. Secretary of Blah. He's like, I'm a general. I am the Attorney General.
The last question in round number 2, it comes from Trivial Warfare 199. I need a hero.
I need a hero.
Doom.
This was hosted by Carmela and the question written by Rob Warman.
Rob Warman.
Thank you,
I
Rob.
was waiting for that. Category of movies. What 2003 movie starring Naomi Watts and Benicio del Toro got its name from a science experiment in 1907 that claimed to measure the weight of the human soul?
I know what we're looking for here, but there's no way I'm going to get the right answer.
I'm locked in.
That guy is locked in.
I'm locked in.
Damn, I got to talk about nothing.
You could do what we're doing and get your guess out of the way fast.
Damn.
So I remember talking in that episode about seeing an episode of Breaking Bad where in the early days, the main character was with his then girlfriend and they were talking about leftover. There was a leftover portion of the equation when they were measuring matter. So I'm just going to lock in with the featherweight champion of the world. That's my answer.
Fair enough.
All right, Carmela?
The chances of me remembering stuff that I hosted are much higher because I read those questions over and over again. I think this was 21 grams. I think that's the right movie. At least it's a weight, and I'm going to go with that.
And I also wrote 21 grams.
And I didn't have nearly as many family members, so I said 7 grams because I could not remember the right number, but I was on the right track, apparently.
On the original show, the team of Corey and Kristen Harris was also with you, but Ben, you and Chris were on a team, and Jonathan, you played solo. Ben and Chris, the first time around, guessed 8 grams. Jonathan, in a strange twist of fate, guessed Featherman. When Ben said that, I was like, really? Okay. Wow. That's
Did you
funny.
go double check that I said that? It's like, what kind of answer is that?
I absolutely did. I absolutely went and listened back to it. I was like, that can't be right. No. But the answer is 21 grams.
Oh,
There we go.
I remembered grams. I could have said
This
golden
time,
grams.
Ever closer.
Oh, I love golden
If we
grams.
get to the gauntlet and I'm tied with Jonathan, I'm going to count that as a win for me.
Dude, it's possible. At the end of round 2, the score is 30 for Carmela to 10 for Chris to 0 for Ben and Jonathan.
Making progress. Woo.
Your first question in round 3 comes from Trivial Warfare 183. Woo.
Woo.
And written by Paul Paquette.
Thank you, Paul.
Category is sports villains.
Sport ball.
Dethroned soccer supervillain Sepp Blatter hails from what country?
Can you spell the name, please?
Seppblatter. Sepp Blatter.
I always thought it was bladder with a D.
No.
I think I remember my answer from the show, so I'm hopefully will not answer that one.
I remember who this guy is.
Yeah, tool bag.
Tell us how you really feel, Christopher.
All right. I am taking my medicine. Locked in.
I'm going to lock in.
All right, Carmela, I'll let you talk. I'll lock in my wrong answer.
Looking at the spelling of his name, it looks Germanic. Doesn't necessarily mean anything, but it's all I got to go on. I don't think the head of FIFA was from Germany. do a mental coin toss. Switzerland. I'm going to say he's from Switzerland, and I'm just going to have to be satisfied with that.
All right. He was the guy that was in charge of FIFA. And if I remember, there was a lot of hookers and blow when it came to the Brazil portion of it. And so that's why he got into a lot of trouble. And there was like a lot of money that was given to him.
I just want to mark this moment that
Okay.
Christopher Allen Hollister just said hookers and blow.
Well, I'm still waiting to hear the bad things he did.
Hoagies and grinders.
Hoagies and grinders.
Navy beans.
I think I convinced Jonathan that it was he was South African. I think I convinced you of that, Jonathan, and that it was wrong. But I wrote down Austria.
I was kind of with Carmela thinking Germanic. I said Denmark.
And I went with the Netherlands just because why not?
Last time around, Jonathan and Chris did say South Africa. And Carmela, you said Sweden. The correct answer is Switzerland.
Oh my gosh, Carmela!
Wow.
You are fantastic.
I flipped the coin, right? My other option was Austria, which is what Chris went with.
The blanket over the head technique is a successful one.
I don't have any blankets up here.
Give myself a cocoon.
It's a blankie.
I'm disappointed that Mjolnir will not be used in this episode.
Your second question in round number 3 comes from Trivial Warfare 228, the $37,000 pyramid.
God.
Hosted by Ben Young and also had Wesley Wells on the episode. This question comes from Rob Warman.
Rob.
You sounded like a ghost.
Where's the
He said, Rob.
Rob, and I was like,
no, I wasn't going to give satisfaction.
Like a goat.
Waiting with anticipation.
How about prolific trivia?
No, don't do that to me, Scott.
Your category is literature.
Literature.
Which of Shakespeare's plays has the highest percentage of words spoken by female characters? Hint, it's a comedy.
I'm locked in.
This is definitely one I did not retain.
I think I know the trick of it, and it's not going to help me get the right answer because I don't know enough Shakespeare to utilize that.
My problem is I know too much.
Let's see, we have opposite problems.
I'm going to lock in.
I'm locked in.
A fairly common theme in Shakespeare's works in general, but definitely in the comedies, is cross-dressing. So it's picking which one of the plays where one of the main characters is a woman dressed as a man for a good portion of the play.
Quit nodding your head, Scott. She's talking. Scott's over there like, yup, you're on the right track.
But this is I'm nodding because like I've heard this conversation before.
So the two main ones that come to mind with those two particular themes would be Twelfth Night and As You Like It. But then there's also A Midsummer Night's Dream, which has a lot of female characters in it. I feel like I either said Twelfth Night because it's my favorite play, or I didn't say it and it turned out to be Twelfth Night and I kicked myself because it's my favorite play.
So I can clearly not drink the wine in front of me.
Yes.
Just wait till I get going.
I'm just going to say Twelfth Night. It's my favorite play. If it's not right, at least I can tell everyone what my favorite play is. So Twelfth Night.
I was looking for a cross-dressing episode as well. I knew it was cross-dress based and that the main character was that situation. I did not think of either Twelfth Night or As You Like It. If I had, I would have chosen Twelfth Night. I think that's the right answer. I locked in with Love's Labor's Lost.
Oh, that's not bad either.
I didn't think of either of yours, and I wish I had. I've gone that way.
I just went simply because of the name. I said The Merry Wives of Windsor.
I guarantee I answered that last time. That's the only reason I went away from that this time, because I think I answered that last time.
I'm pretty sure I hosted this game. You may have said that. And Rob's questions have very specific font associated with them. And so in my mind, I was trying to think of I always see the answer in that particular type of font, and which one of these plays that I have written down was in that font. And I think it was 12th Night. So I locked in with 12th Night.
Well, in episode 228, Chris, you guessed The Merry Wives of Windsor.
Of course I did.
Carmela and Jonathan both guessed, after a lot of going back and forth between As You Like It and 12th Night, you guessed 12th Night.
Oh, damn it.
Oh.
The correct answer is As You Like It.
Yeah, it's exactly what I thought was going to happen.
And that's why I was sitting here. I was like, I've heard this entire conversation before.
Yeah.
It's a glitch in the Matrix.
This whole episode is a glitch in the Matrix.
Your last question in round number 3 comes from 199. I Need a Hero again. Rob Warman again with the question.
Of course.
Rob wrote all these.
Thank you, Rob.
Your category is First Ladies. There have been 2 First Ladies that have been born outside of the United States. One is our current First Lady, who was born in the former Yugoslavia. Who was the other First Lady who was born in London? I'll take either the First Lady or the President on this one.
Okay.
I'm going to lock in.
I'm going to lock in as well.
I'm tempted to guess Buchanan just to be as consistent as possible with my score.
I'm locked in.
I don't have anything, y'all. I don't have anything, like nothing. I don't know. I'm going to guess John Quincy Adams was the president.
No, I love that answer, Jonathan. I really do. Because I think he was with his father over in London. And I thought you were talking about the other Adams, and I was like, no, him and Abigail were married long before he became
I was at first,
ambassador.
and the logic of Adams being in London took me possibly to that situation. That's how I got there.
I went with Edith Wilson, which was Woodrow Wilson's second wife.
I remembered it being early, so I thought about John Adams being an ambassador to London during or just before the Revolution or during the Revolution. And I went with his son, John Quincy Adams.
And I went with Martin Van Buren for no reason.
Okay.
Well, Chris, you and Ben last time said Martha Washington. Jonathan, last time you actually said Jacqueline Bouvier. The correct answer is Louisa Adams, wife of John Quincy Adams.
Holy crap,
Nice
I'm on the board! Endorphin rush, baby! Give me that dopamine! Yes!
Yeah, you're only 40 points behind.
I got points, Chris! I figured something out. See, this isn't memory. This is literally figuring it out fresh. It's really great feeling.
Wow.
Carmela's destroying us.
She really is.
At the end of the third round, Carmela has 50. Chris has 10. Jonathan has 10. Ben has 0.
But bring on the midpoint.
The midpoint, again, unique midpoint, just because I like to write a fresh midpoint and final for these games. The midpoint today is in the category of sports.
Sport ball.
Specifically baseball.
Now, Scott.
I knew you were going to do well, you see. So I had to give the guys an opportunity to catch up. I have to even the playing field. There are 24 pitchers in the history of Major League Baseball who have won at least 300 games. Exactly 4 of those players won their 300th game in the 21st century, with the most recent being in 2009. For 5 points each, name these 4 players.
So 4 players to win their 300th game in the 21st century.
Correct.
That ain't easy.
I can give you a hint.
Yeah, I'm taking hints.
I think everybody who's playing is a low score and would love a hint.
A hint would be 3 of these 4 players are in the Baseball Hall of Fame. 1 is not.
That's a good hint.
Thanks. Again, the most recent came in 2009.
Just 4 answers, right?
Correct.
I may be wrong.
Jonathan, you just got 2 answers right.
There we go.
That was nice. No, I don't have any hate for that at all. That's brilliant. I'm going to lock in.
And I am locked in. Feel good about 3. The 4th one.
I'm just going to lock in. I have 4. I'm going to lock in.
All right. So as you guys were thinking, I even though Jonathan does think I would know a couple of these, the baseball players that come to mind, I don't think are pitchers. I think they're outfielders or, like shortstops or something. I don't know what position A-Rod plays, but I'm pretty sure it's not pitcher. So the names I wrote down are Fastball Jones, Stitches Concuster, Cletus Arbuckle.
Cletus Arbuckle. Oh, this is a t-shirt.
That's
Of the
John.
famous
That's John's
Arbuckle
second
family.
cousin.
Yeah.
And my personal favorite, the ghost of Abner Doubleday.
Wow.
The ghost of Abner Doubleday.
I'm so glad I locked it early. So
Carmela, that might be your best answers yet. That is
Thank
amazing.
you.
all right, let me go next. I'm somewhat ignorant at this stuff. I'm like, okay, I know Randy Johnson's on this list. I'm pretty sure he won 300 games. I remember around the time, I think he's the last one that did it. I may be wrong about that. I think the one guy on this list is not in the Hall of Fame is Roger Clemens due to the steroid allegations. I wasn't sure if Curt Schilling had gotten to 300 games, but I know that he was an active pitcher at the time. And so I put him, and then I put his teammate Pedro Martinez on here. So I have Randy Johnson, Roger Clemens, Curt Schilling, and Pedro Martinez.
Not the ghost of Abner Doubleday? Are you
No,
sure?
no, I didn't go with him. No.
You know, I really wish I thought of Randy Johnson. Ben, I love that answer. That should have been my fourth one. But I went with Greg Maddux, Roger Clemens, Pedro Martinez, and then I couldn't think of the fourth one, but so I was trying to go for a Hall of Famer, and I put in John Smoltz.
Yeah, I thought about Smoltz and Maddux, but I thought Maddux may have retired earlier.
All right. So on my side, 2009, I'm almost certain was Randy Johnson. The clue about the Hall of Fame meant it had to be Roger Clemens because everybody who has 300 wins is in the Hall except for one man, and that's Roger Clemens. So Johnson, Clemens, Chris, I agree with you on Maddux. I went Maddux. And so Smoltz had a bunch of years as a closer, so he didn't get to 300, but their teammate, I believe, did. My fourth answer was Tom Glavine.
I thought about Tommy Glavine, but I like Pedro better as an answer. So if that's it, I respect that. And
I wouldn't have gotten to any of those.
Oh, I thought Roger Clemens was gettable for you.
I've heard of Roger Clemens, but I didn't know he was a pitcher. I just knew there was like a steroid thing, but that I wouldn't have gotten pitcher
That's
for
fair.
him.
Gotcha.
So the most recent 2009, the person who did this most recently, 2009, was Randy Johnson. And the person who is not in the Hall of Fame because of steroid allegations is Roger Clemens. Greg Maddux achieved the feat in 2004. And Pedro Martinez only won 219 games.
wow.
Yep.
Your other answer, achieving this feat in 2007, Tom Glavine.
Nice job, Jonathan. Wow.
Yeah, it's fair that the baseball guy got all the points. I think that's a good solid get for Jonathan.
It's a moment of pride for me. I'm not going to lie.
You've come a long way since that first class of the Baseball Hall of
jeez.
Fame.
God bless it. After the midpoint, Carmela has 50. Jonathan has 30. Chris has 20. And Ben has 10. That is the end of the first half of today's game. Before we go on to the second half, I want to let you know that today's show is sponsored by the Online Quiz League USA. So this is super exciting. I'm really excited to advertise for the Online Quiz League because I'm a member of it. I play. I'm on a team called Trash Panda and the 2020 Dumpster Fire, and we have been having an absolute great time. So this is a cool format. It's trivia over Zoom with 2 teams of 4 and a reader. There's 64 questions. Each question is asked in order. So team 1, position A, will get the question. And if they know the answer, then they can get 2 points for it. If they don't know the answer, they can pass to one of their teammates and the team can get 1 point for it. And it goes back and forth from the different slots on the team. So everybody playing is going to get a chance to have 8 questions asked to them and the chance to pick up situations where a question has been missed by the other team or passed by your own team. It's like a bowling league almost. Think about like a bowling league for trivia, where every week you have a game against somebody else. There's live weekly matches. You get it's kind of a camaraderie thing. You get the camaraderie of playing on a team against other teams. There's no buzzers, so you don't have to worry about being super fast. You'll have a little bit of time to think about the answer. And you're not out there all alone. You're on a team that can back you up when you don't know something. The questions are just like Trivial Warfare's. They cover literature, science, pop culture. Anything under the sun could be part of this. As a player, I can completely vouch for this. It's worked really well. My team has had a blast playing together. I feel like all of us are kind of getting closer as friends, as a team. We have our messenger chat that we talk on all the time. It's just been a lot of fun. It's been a really welcome addition to my trivia experience. And coming up, there are some cool new things happening at OQL, which is Online Quiz League. There's going to be a pop culture game called OQL Pop Solos. It's an individual weekly competition. So this one isn't for teams. This is for you personally if you like pop culture questions. Starts in January, covers TV, movies, music, hobbies, games, sports. These are weekly matches against scheduled opponents, and you can sign up today to start in mid-January. Coming soon, they're also going to be creating a Connections League. This is kind of like the game Only Connect. So if you've ever enjoyed doing connections that like the stuff Gary Middleton puts out on the Facebook group, this is the game for you. All of the OQL formats take about an hour to play. It's a great time. You can check out everything at quizcentral.net. And you can join the Facebook group at facebook.com/groups/OQLUSA. Guys, I highly recommend it. I was kind of unsure about it when I started, and now I'm all in. I really, really enjoy it, and I think you will too. So check it out at quizcentral.net and join the Facebook group at facebook.com/groups/OQLUSA. Today's show is also sponsored by BetterHelp. BetterHelp is your solution for finding counseling support at a reasonable price with all sorts of options. I've talked about the benefits of counseling. I've talked about BetterHelp. You guys know the score here. But what you may not know is that I signed up myself. That's right. I'm not only advertising, but I'm using the product right now. There are things that I wish I didn't do. There are things that I wish that I could improve on. And I see BetterHelp as a great opportunity for me to be connected with somebody that I could talk through those things with and try and make a difference. When I talk about that, it makes me want to highlight two things. First, you don't have to feel like you're doing something wrong, or you don't have to feel like there's these huge problems in your life for you to think that counseling is a good idea. You can use counseling for all sorts of things that make a meaningful impact to your life. And the second thing is, I want to take the stigma off of it. There shouldn't be any stigma to somebody saying, hey, I'd like to talk to somebody to get some help and work through something that I'd like to change. And so there's no shame here, folks. BetterHelp is a great service that can help to connect you in a safe, private online environment. You can communicate in under 24 hours. And that's true. When I signed up, I was assigned a counselor within 24 hours, y'all. It's professional counseling. There's no waiting room. You get timely, thoughtful responses on a number of issues: depression, stress, anxiety, anger, grief, LGBTQ issues, family conflicts, self-esteem. The list goes on and on. It's convenient, it's professional, it's affordable. You can be like me and start working to live a happier life today. As a listener, you'll get 10% off of your first month by visiting our sponsor, betterhelp.com/TWA. You can join over 1 million people who have taken charge of their mental health. Again, that's BetterHelp, HELP.com/TWA. All right, let's get on with the second half of today's show.
Your fourth round starts with a question from Trivial Warfare 166, Bust a Move.
Oh, crap. We're going back to this?
Bust a move.
We didn't have many episodes in the last 100 where all four of us were in there, especially the last 50.
And what I always do is, like, in the first one, I went from 1 to 50, and then the next one's like 51 to like 150. And then I use that 100 episodes in the middle there.
No, I thought we were just going back straight to your questions, Scott. I didn't realize we're going back to the missed questions. So
no.
I'm just completely humped.
Remember, keep in mind, this was all your idea initially before Trivial Warfare 100.
It was. What the heck was I thinking?
This was your brainchild, sir.
Oh.
I have met the enemy, and he is me.
Yeah.
and he is Chris.
Oh, I am such a freaking a-hole. All right, Scott. Light us up.
All right. From Trivial Warfare 166, Bust a Move, hosted by the a-hole himself, Chris Hollister.
Bust a move.
Bust a move.
Bust a move.
Bust a move.
Category is foreign leaders.
We always get these wrong.
I had to adjust this one a little bit because it was more of a current events thing, and it's not as current anymore. So, Mariano Rajoy, Rajoy, was the prime minister of what European country, resigning in June of 2018?
Yeah, I'm locked in, by the way.
Okay.
I'm going to lock in.
I'm going to lock in.
Mariano feels like such a Spanish name, and it's European. So does that mean it's either Spain or Portugal? Resigned is different than got voted out. Resigned might mean something happened, like there's some kind of disgrace with a Hispanic sounding name. So it shouldn't be Eastern European. Italian and Spanish are similar to each other, so it could be Italy. And then the other two likely would be Spain and Portugal. I'm going to guess Portugal.
Ain't nobody dope as me. I'm just so fresh. So
fresh and so clean.
I locked in with Italy.
I locked in with Spain.
I think I remember it being Spain. Rajoy, the J sounding like an H, kind of helped push me there. And I think if I remember this guy correctly, funny is not the right word, but I think it was a situation of a vote of no confidence, which I had literally only seen in Star Wars.
Yes.
So I was like, that's weird. So I said Spain.
I vote no confidence for Chancellor Valorum.
Well done, by the way.
Well, that's what happened. He received a vote of no confidence and then resigned in June of 2018. Originally, Jonathan and Ben said Venezuela.
Ah, that's a great answer for a European country.
European country, yeah.
Holy crap. That's on the level of Featherman. That's so bad.
Carmela, you said Andorra, but the correct answer is Spain.
Wow, I could have just said Spain. Chris got one too. Nice, y'all.
Yeah.
I'm rooting for all of us.
I remembered my own question. I'm so happy.
This is the rare instance where Jonathan is rooting for everybody and not just himself.
That's called growth, Jonathan.
No, it's called struggle, Carmela. It's called struggle.
And the struggle is real.
The struggle is real.
Without struggle, there is no growth.
Yeah. When you're all in the struggle bus together, you don't have to fight about who gets to sit in the front.
Your next question comes from Trivia Warfare 162. Zatarains.
Zatarains, yeah.
Yeah.
Hosted by Ben Young. Written by Adam Go.
Thank you, Adam.
Hey, Adam.
In the category of world capitals. Everyone in the room knows the world capital of Iceland, right?
Yes.
Spell it.
Oh, yeah.
We didn't all miss this.
I finally get 10 points.
I'm going to get this, too. I think I got this right in that episode. I can't believe I got it wrong.
Well, obviously, we all got it wrong. That's why the question's here.
Ben is locked in with the correct answer, finally.
I am tapping out. I know I cannot spell it, but I will say it.
I think I got this right. I'm locked in. If I missed it this time, then I probably missed it the same way last time.
It's Reykjavik. That's the name. It's figuring out where the J goes. What I wrote down was Reykjavik. Reykjavik. I don't have anything better. I don't know how to flip it around any other way. That's what I'm going to say.
All right. Since we're doing a spelling thing, Scott, can you say it in a sentence? No. Yeah, I knew it was Reykjavik, but I could not. I was not even going to attempt to spell it because I have no idea.
I spelled it the same way Carmela did. I kind of have learned if I'm right, it's Reykjavik. So I said Reykjavik.
Yeah, I was pretty confident also in that same spelling, Reykjavik.
Well, last time, Chris, you spelled it Rekjiavik. Carmela, Rekjiavik. I think you're on team. Jonathan, Rekjavik. No Y. Correct spelling is Reykjavik.
All right.
Yes.
Except Chris.
Well done, everybody.
Except Chris.
Oh, you know what, Chris? Well done by you two. Know your limitations.
Yep.
I'm just glad I had a taste of the euphoria. I'm just
Yeah, man, it's nice, isn't it? It's good.
It feels good.
You want another hit, don't you?
Your last question in round 4 comes from Trivial Warfare 184, God of Thunder. Again, this one's written Rob Warman.
Thank you, Rob. Rob wrote a lot of
Category
questions, man.
Yep.
Rob writes a lot of questions, yeah. Your category is English, Mother Fletchers. Do you speak it?
That's fantastic.
That's so good.
Is that Pulp Fiction?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't think he says Mother Fletchers. Maybe on the TV edit.
I don't think Sam Jack has ever said Mother Fletcher ever.
He did say Mother Flurkin.
Sure did.
Your question. Palindromes are words or phrases that read the same way forward and backwards, like noon or taco cat. What is the clever term coined by writer Martin Gardner for a word that reverses to spell a different word? Example, stressed backwards spells desserts.
I knew you were going to ask. As soon as you started, I knew exactly what you're going with.
I'm locked in.
Dang it.
Question before.
I'm locked in.
You're locked in?
Yeah, I've got.
Oh.
I'm locked in.
Yeah,
I'm locked in.
Also.
Oh, okay. I think it's palindrome spelled backwards, so I went blip, 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 blip.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, you got to give me more than that, man.
You're either going to have to pronounce it correctly or spell it correctly.
You know what?
No, I'm gonna.
I mean, he got the point in terms of what he's trying to do. If he can't pronounce it, I don't want to beat him
say
up.
something backwards.
What does it start with, Chris?
Palindrome. It's EMORDNILAP is how I spelled it.
That's close enough for me.
The reason why I asked that is because when we asked the question originally, Paul said what Chris said, and it wasn't right.
That's right.
It's Simordnalap. It's palindromes backwards.
Oh,
I'm going to challenge that. No, I'm going to challenge that. I'm going to challenge that because go ahead, Jonathan.
I also said Simordnalap.
See, I left the S off, but it's asking for a word. It's asking for a singular version of the word.
But there is a right answer to the question. The word is Simordnalap.
See, I knew I hated the question then. I hate it now. This sucks, man.
The term is Simordnalap. It is palindromes backwards.
It is I agree with you, Ben. And if Scott, I'm going to leave it up to Scott as he wants to give credit. I'm not going to be pedantic about it.
No, we're going to, if there's a right answer, there's a right answer. So let's just move on. Give right answer, let's move on.
Well, Ben, last time you said Immortalap.
Oh, no.
Of course I did.
And it was counted wrong. Jonathan and Chris said anti-palindrome.
Yeah, that was bad.
But
that's no feather, man.
Creative.
But the correct answer is Simordnalap. With the S.
I forgot about the plural. Dang it.
The thing that I don't like about it, especially this time, is that it's clear that they understood. Both Ben and Chris understood what they were trying to accomplish, and maybe I'm getting soft in my old age, but I hate that's not good enough in this episode. That's a wrong answer.
Yeah,
because in this episode, it's like you're trying to show if you remember.
Do you remember?
So, guys, for the first time all game, we've had somebody sweep around. Carmela has 80. Jonathan has 50. Chris has 30. Ben has 20.
Nobody's locked out yet, so that's a positive.
Only because of baseball.
Speak for yourself.
Going to Trivial Warfare 201 from the episode I Hate You, Ross Geller.
Vote for me.
That is a quote from Carmela. Question written by John Donaldson. Category is Humble Beginnings. We all have to start somewhere, right? What Academy Award-winning actor and beer spokesperson made their film debut in 1988 as Duke the Dog-Faced Boy in Big Top Pee-wee? This is the first one that I feel like I remember as the thing I learned at that time from that show. This is the first time all game that's happened.
I'm locked in.
I am locked in as well. What's impressive to me is that Carmela has a perfectly cromulent score at this point in the game.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
I would agree with you, but I don't know what cromulent means.
I just got the gist.
It's literally a fake word.
Yeah, but it's in the dictionary now.
Well, I guess now it's not a fake word, but it's a word that basically doesn't mean
It's a Simpsons joke where
Right,
somebody
it's a
made
Simpsons joke.
made up a word, and then somebody else justified the made up word by saying that's a perfectly cromulent word.
Cromulent answer.
And
Yeah.
now that junk is in the dictionary as meaning
Now
an
cromulent,
acceptable
yeah.
or fitting thing.
Wow.
It's very meta.
It's awesome.
I can't either.
You said 88.
Yes, 1988 as Duke the Dog-Faced Boy in Big Top Pee-wee.
All right, I'm going to lock in.
Academy Award-winning actor and beer spokesperson.
I think I remember this. I think it was, which is funny because we've already talked about him this game in a previous question, Benicio del Toro. Not conventionally attractive, pretty good character actor. I think he won for Traffic as far as the Academy Award, if I'm remembering correctly. But I think he was the one I was trying to remember. It's just weird that we talked about him earlier in the game, but I'm going to say Benicio del Toro.
I went with the actor who played himself in The Last Jedi, Benicio del Toro.
That's really
he was
I feel like
hawking Heinekens at the time.
I feel like I guessed Benicio del Toro in the last game and got it wrong.
What was your
Maybe
answer
I
here?
hosted this game. I just guessed DiCaprio here.
And I also went with Benicio del Toro.
Well, Ben, last game you actually guessed Neil Patrick Harris, and Jonathan Chris went with Adrian Brody. But the correct answer was nominated for his role in 21 Grams and lost, but did win supporting actor for Traffic. It's Benicio del Toro.
Look at that. All right.
I remember if you were talking about Adrian Brody because you kept making fun of his nose.
Yes, and he was selling Stella Artois at the time. So the beer spokesman was a big deal. So that was like, okay, we can't think of it for sure, but he is always on the commercials for Stella Artois.
Gotcha.
Second question, round 5, comes from Sleeper Cell, Trivial Warfare 164. The category is, this question is a matter of life or death. Starting to feel that way now.
Mm-hmm.
If you have died intestate, how have you died?
I am locked in.
Jonathan's starting to warm up here.
We're getting to questions that I remember learning on this show.
Chris is locked in.
I'm going to lock in.
Well, crap. I think Chris and I were on a team for this one, and I feel like we said that they were eaten because intestate sounded like intestine, and it was just really
I probably
weird.
talked you into that, to be honest with you, because that sounds like a Chris answer.
It might have been me and you as a team, Carmela.
I don't remember, but I feel like that was an answer that was given. But I don't remember what the answer was, and I don't even know how to parse it out.
I believe in you. You got this. You got this.
I don't even have a through line, Jonathan.
Oh, maybe you don't. I still believe in you, though.
Well, I appreciate that, sir.
Even if you don't get it right.
I don't know. Bleed out. I know it's wrong. I don't have an answer. I'm just going to say they bleed out, even though that's extinguishation. So bleed out.
All right. Chris, what did you say?
I said they died in their sleep.
All right. Ben, what did you say?
So I remember there was a lot of controversy, and Chris and I get into a huge argument over this question.
Oh.
Because the person that was hosting was reading off of his laptop. And I think, Jonathan, you had asked for clarification on how to spell the word, and he spun his laptop around to show the question.
This was Mike Sleeper, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
And I noticed on his laptop that in the corner it had something like money as guess the cat. I guess he gave us one category, but it had money in the category. And I remember saying, well, Jonathan, he had money showing on his laptop. And Chris got upset because he felt like we got information that he didn't get. So I knew it was something related to money. I think we guessed at that time that they died broke or without an estate. But I think that the correct answer is that they died without a will.
Yeah. And I remember this very clearly. It was a shock to me that it wasn't a medical thing. It was a financial thing. It is that they died without a will.
Ben is all over this. You and Jonathan were on a team, and you guessed died with no money. And Chris and Carmela guessed digested.
They died.
I told you.
They died gested.
Digested.
Yes, they digested.
But the correct answer is died without a will.
Nice job, you two.
Great memory,
I remember
Ben.
that now. I remember
Aretha
that now.
Franklin died intestate.
Last question, round number 5. Zatarain's.
Man, you loved Zatarain's.
Zatarans. Yeah.
It's still funny.
His voice is going to be sore in the morning. He's going to have macho man-itis.
Oh, no.
Yeah, macho man, yeah. Macho man-itis, yeah.
The inflammation of the macho man.
This is what you get.
It's like a blow-up doll. I've been inflamed.
Scott's not here anymore, yeah. Got macho man hosting the rest of the show, yeah.
That'd be amazing. I'm down for that.
Round number 3, yeah.
No, he will not have a voice at all before he got into the gauntlet.
That's why I don't do it that often, is because I blow my voice out once I do it. But all right. So your category is I was told there would be no math.
Oh, crap.
Oh, boy.
Written by Brandon Buckner.
Thank you, Brandon.
The English word hundred is derived from the Old Norse word hundrath, Hundrath, which represents what number?
I remember this question, but I don't remember this answer. Read it again.
The English word hundred is derived from the Old Norse word hundrath, which represents what number?
I'm locked in.
I'm locked in.
I remember feeling like when we had this question that there was no way to really logic it. Like even when I heard the answer, I was like, well, how was I supposed to know that? That's the feeling I get even now hearing this. And I feel like it's either 10 or 1,000. I don't have anything, so I'm going to guess it represents 1,000.
I also said it represents 1,000.
I remember it being close to what it represents now. But instead of a base 10, I think it was base 12. So I said 120.
Oh.
And I also said 120.
Oh, y'all are probably right.
So last time, Carmela, you said 10. You and Chris said 10. Jonathan guessed 1,000.
Crap.
The correct answer is 120.
Woo!
Wow.
Ben on a heater.
Give him the heater, Ricky.
Yeah. When I was talking about growth earlier, this is kind of one of those examples where I can look back on that and say that is not a question I would ask today, based on the fact that there's no path to get there
without rewording it a little bit.
And and a little background on that is I looked up because I was interested how that happened as well, and it's the 120 comes from it's a long hundred of 6 score is how they logicked it out. So 6 score 120 hundredth.
Interesting.
Okay.
I figure it had scores that had something to do with it.
Oh, I just went with a different base.
Yeah, that's super smart logic. I don't understand bases. I never have, probably never will. But I understand scores. And at the end of the 5th round, Carmela has 100. She doesn't have 100th. She has 100. Jonathan has 70. Ben and Chris are tied with 40.
All right. Nice job, Ben.
Well, we're heading into round 6, and you know what that means.
Stuff we've gotten wrong more than once.
Correct.
Oh, geez, I forgot about that. Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. Now, we're going back to the Centennial episodes.
Oh, no.
These are questions that, again, you haven't missed once. You have missed twice.
Oh, man.
It's the crapper.
From Trivial Warfare 200. Hold me, Jonathan. I'm scared.
What a great title.
That was definitely a Chris moment.
That was a Chris
I
moment.
remember when that happened. That was so funny. Oh, if you're watching this if you're listening to this, if you haven't listened to 200 yet, 200 is so good. 100 and 200 are 2 of our best episodes ever. They are hilarious.
From the category of television, on the show The Love Boat, Doc was played by Bernie Koppel, but Doc had a name. What was Doc's name? This was originally asked on Trivial Warfare 101 Winning.
Nobody knows this. Oh, my God.
You know who would know this? Your brother would know this.
Oh, Bob?
Your brother, Bob, would 100%
You're
know
probably
this.
right.
Guaranteed.
You're probably right.
You suck, Scott Barber.
No, actually, I suck because this is originally a me question.
What was his name? Oh, man. I can't believe this. It's worse when you've heard it
times.
twice.
Scott's asking this at 400. Just FYI.
I'm going to have a lot too.
I don't think we're gonna-
I'm going to have to get a tattoo to the inside of my wrist.
Oh my God. That's amazing. I don't even have a way to get there. I have no idea how to get there.
This was such an early moment in my question writing career, as Ben was saying.
Yep.
Do we want to do like an anti-3-2-1 where we all just shout out an answer we know we're wrong?
Yes.
All right, let's do that.
No, wait,
I've already
wait, I'm
I've
still
already
trying.
written
I'm
my
still
answer.
trying. Hold on.
He's still trying. Whatever.
Boo.
You know what? One of the things I learned from this episode is that when Scott prepares the questions for 400, he's gonna have a lot of questions he can ask again.
Well, that's what I said. I said, well, I've got a lot to choose from for 400 from this episode. And again, I went through a lot of the stumpers on this, and I was like, this is the ones that I left out are at least as difficult as these, if not harder.
All right, I got my answer.
I have mine.
Do you want to do a reverse
All right,
3, 2, 1?
Yep.
So you want to count up, then go 1, 2, 3?
Sure.
We're gonna do 1, 2, 3.
Sure.
Yep. All right, I'll count.
All right.
1, 2, 3.
Charlie.
Sure helps a lot.
Ghost of Abner Doubleday.
The return of the Ghost of Abner Doubleday.
That's a show title.
Okay. You said
It's
the Ghost
a
of Abner
double
Doubleday. Chris, you said Sir Mix-a-Lot?
No, I said Sir Humps a lot.
Sir Humps-a-Lot. Ben, what did you say?
Hitler.
It's me.
I guessed Charlie.
Hello, Angel.
All
I already wrote down in my notepad, I already have TW300, the Ghost of Abner Doubleday. I had already selected it.
So the first time in 101, Carmela's the host. Jonathan went with Doc McBoatins.
Hell yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Ben and Chris was on a team and went with Cruisin' O'Shaughnessy.
Oh, it's so good. Oh, yes.
In 200, Carmela, and I don't have it written here, but I could swear in my ear, I could swear you said you were going to get this tattooed on your wrist in the last episode. I'm going to have to go back and check that, but I could
It wouldn't
swear.
shock me.
That's why
I
you
make
look
threats like that all the
what you
time.
said.
But you went with Richards. Jonathan went with the another famous doctor, Zhivago.
Ah, yes.
Ben went with Doc Martin. And Chris, in a very Hall of Justice sounding sort of way, said, meanwhile, back in Wrong Answerville. The right answer is Dr. Adam Bricker.
I'm never going to remember that.
That is
You
actually
said last time you'd never remember it. I'm glad you're holding up.
I was 100% right. I should get credit. Adam Bricker. Damn it. No, there's no way.
it's Ricker.
I will
It's
say
not-
this.
It's not with a B. It's just an R, right, Scott? It's Ricker.
No, it's Bricker.
It's Bricker.
Bricker.
Okay.
Rigor with a B. I can't believe I wrote that.
Okay, so we're going to remember it, guys. Here's how we're going to do it. If the Love Boat was full of brickers, it would have sank.
Oh, okay.
Right?
I was thinking he was a brick house.
There you go. Okay.
He let it all hang out.
He's a brick house. If in the future, in 400, if we say Bricker without Adam, you're getting credit. Bricker's right.
That's 2 years from now.
I'm just saying, Love Boat sinks with bricks. Brick house, Bricker. Bricker,
That's like
Bricker,
3 more
Bricker, Bricker, Bricker,
pandemics
Bricker,
away.
Bricker.
I know.
3 pandemics.
Loose bricks sink ships.
How you remember it is I'm going to a brick
Yes.
if I miss this again.
Oh, God. We'll see you in 400.
All right. Well, we're still at 200. Back to 200 for the next question.
Oh, dear
There
God.
we go.
In the category of video games, Jonathan, you just said a minute ago you don't know anything about bases. All your bases belong to us.
No.
Is a poorly translated line from what 1992 Japanese video game? This question was originally asked on Trivial Warfare 148, Tyler Periwinkle.
I know for a fact that I know what it's not.
Again, it's the glitch in the Matrix.
That's amazing.
God.
We're so programmed. We don't even know it. We say the same things to the same impetuses again and again and again in our lives, and we don't even realize we're doing it.
All right.
I'm locked in.
I'm writing my answer of Contra down.
Contra.
Don't even care. I don't know.
All right. So Chris and Carmela are locked in.
I don't know. Who asked that question, Scott?
I did.
Ben sounds like he's taking credit for it, but
Yeah,
I can.
I asked that.
Okay.
It was either me or Carmela. Oh, let's see.
I've been laughing so much the back of my head hurts.
That's awesome.
Ben, I did look it up. You did host that game.
Yep.
I'm gonna lock in with a new wrong answer.
I got a new wrong answer.
So I think this is 2 words. I think one of them is star. I want to say like star base or star attack. Star attack. All right. I'm just going to lock in with star crisis.
As I said, I locked in with Contra.
I know that the thing I said, I definitely know what it is not is the game Russian Attack. I guarantee that I said I know it's not Russian Attack. I was on the star kick too. I locked in Fantasy Star. I know it's not right, but I feel like it's close. So that was my answer.
So when I got this wrong twice, because I'm pretty sure I got it wrong in the first time I got asked, and I definitely got it wrong last time, I felt some shame as someone who plays a lot of video games. So I did my best trying to commit this to memory, and I'm pretty sure it is Zero Wing.
Zero Wing.
That's 100% it.
Zero.
Well, in 148, Ben, you were the host. Jonathan guessed Russian Attack.
See, I remember that crap.
And Chris and Carmela went with StarCraft. In episode 200, Chris guessed Red Dawn, the video game.
Hey, I'm staying consistent.
Jonathan went with Command and Conquer. Ben went with, and I had to go back and re-listen to the episode to make sure I got this right, and this is what he went with. Galactic Prophylactic.
Yes, Eddie Murphy sketch from SNL.
That's exactly right. And Carmela went with the now famous Canada McMaple Bacon.
Yes.
She did.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
The correct answer, as Carmela's already told us, Zero Wing.
Wow. Very
You
nice.
have
Carmela.
retired a
Thanks to
question, Carmela.
Thanks to Carmela, this question never gets asked again.
I can
Thank
never not
freaking God.
know that now.
The good news is those were the only 2 quadruple stumpers in all of Trivial Warfare 200 as an episode.
Wow.
Which
So whatever
means
shall you do with yourself?
Which means,
Go to 100.
much like the episode of Lost, we have to go back.
What, to episode 6?
I wish I
You
could.
cannot. I may not be able to. I know damn well you can't. That was 4 computers ago.
Episode 100, Redemption Island. Your question is in the category of music.
Music.
What was the name of the country rock band that was formed by Jerry Garcia in 1971?
Now this... oh, sorry.
This was originally asked in Trivial Warfare 37, Where's the Beef?
I'm locked in.
I'm locked in.
Chris, you could talk. We're locked in.
Gosh, it's here. Everybody's locked in, which sucks because that means Ben got it. He was my closest competition. I think it's like Riders of the Purple Sage. That's what's in my head, so that's what I'm going with. I don't want to hurt anymore. So, Riders of the Purple Sage.
Here's why I remember this now. Riders of the Purple Sage is a book by Zane Grey, who's an American author. We're Westerns. Waco's mom's name comes from a Zane Grey book, so I can commit that to memory. But Jerry Garcia is the new Riders of the Purple Sage. So that's what I went with. New Riders of the Purple Sage.
I remember this because Carmela asked me this as a joke thing like maybe 5 or 6 months ago. She's like, yeah, but do you remember what Jerry Garcia's band name was? And I'm like, it's the New Riders of the Purple Sage. Yes, I remember. I was very excited, so I'm still excited.
I left the new off, so I answered same as Chris, Riders of the Purple Sage.
Well, first time around, in Trivial Warfare 37.
I remember what Chris said.
Ben hosted.
Oh, I do too. It's amazing.
Carmela wasn't there.
Really?
And
I don't
Jonathan and Chris went with Grateful Dead. In episode 100,
Oh, yes.
Carmela went with Jerry and the Jets.
This is one of the most underrated answers comedically in the history of Trivial Warfare coming up right here.
Jonathan went with Guns and Trucks.
Yeah.
Great. By the way, still a great country band name.
It's not bad.
Ben went with Creedence Skinnerd.
Yes.
Skinner, yes.
And Chris went with the Country Bear Jamboree.
Yes. Oh,
It's so good. It's so good. Chris was just looking for a bait. Oh, it's so good. Oh, man.
So good.
I could be funny when I want to.
Dude,
Wow.
that was so funny. I remember we were laughing at our other wrong answers, and yours kind of got like underneath some of the other vocal, and it took like a couple of seconds to realize what you had said.
That was great. But Zane Grey also wrote a book called The Thundering Herd, and that's where Marshall University's football team nickname comes from. It's from a Zane Grey novel. Yeah. So I've got a special place in my heart for Zane Grey. But the answer is the new writers of the Purple Sage. Now, I'll let you guys figure out if you want to accept writers of the Purple Sage
no,
or
you're
not.
the host. You have that job, not me and not Carmela.
I was going to say no, it's not the band name.
I'm an easy grader. I want to give credit. But if anyone screams and yells, I understand. But I want to give credit because it's
your call, Scott.
I'm not saying no or yes to anything.
You know what? I've tortured all of you enough. Everybody gets credit.
There it is.
Hey!
Yay!
And another question's retired.
And another question's retired.
Going into
Excellent
the
job.
gauntlet, the game is on the line. Carmela has had a dominant performance as predicted. She has 120 points. Jonathan,
100th.
She has 100th. Jonathan has 80. Ben and Chris are tied with 50.
Category for the gauntlet is
More baseball.
Ben doesn't know.
300.
Classic.
Like Leonidas. This is trivia. I stole that joke from Rachel Schumann. She deserves credit. Carmela, our scores are interesting.
Yeah.
You need one more point than you have to lock me out safely.
Chris's wager is locked in.
Jonathan's wager is locked in.
I'm locked in with my wager.
I'm almost done, Gal. Give me just a second.
You're good.
Don't forget to carry the 2, Ben.
All right, my wager's locked in.
With wagers in, let's get started on the gauntlet. Your first question on the gauntlet is 300 years ago in 1720, who was named Astronomer Royal in the UK, a post he held until his death in 1742. No truth to the rumor that he came back for it after about 3/4 of a century.
I don't understand that last part. Say it again.
300 years ago in 1720, who was named Astronomer Royal in the UK, a post he held until his death in 1742. No truth to the rumor he'd come back to it after about 3/4 of a century.
I'm locked in.
I'm locked in.
My answer's locked in.
All right, second question in the gauntlet. In September 2020, Rolling Stone republished an updated version of its 500 greatest albums of all time. With number 300 on the list, what female Canadian artist checked in with her 1997 album, which is the 9th best-selling album of all time worldwide at over 40 million copies?
I'm locked in.
You want the artist's name?
Yes.
Oh, you want the artist, not the album?
Don't need the album.
Oh,
just
sweet. I'm locked in.
Yeah.
I'm locked in.
I was struggling. I'm like, I'm not going to know this.
Can I get cool points for knowing the album name?
You can. Yeah, no, absolutely. You get cool points. That's a different scale than actual points, though.
And my answer is locked in.
All right.
Your final question of the gauntlet. What former American League MVP and current World Series champion has also bowled in the PBA, with his highest professional score being a perfect 300 rolled during the 2017 World Series of Bowling? What former American League MVP and current World Series champion has also bowled in the PBA, with his highest professional score being a perfect 300 rolled during the 2017 World Series of Bowling?
Well, write this one down for 400.
I'm going to lock in.
I am locked in also with my wrong but guess.
I am going to lock in.
Of all the people who should be able to get this, I should be able to get this.
It's not an easy question, bro.
I don't care. So this is somebody who's on the Los Angeles Dodgers. They are the current World Series champions. The Los Angeles Dodgers are an NL team, so that means that this player had to have previously been on an AL team and played at a very high level before going to the Dodgers. I watched every game of that World Series, so I'm familiar with the Los Angeles Dodgers.
If you couldn't tell, the Rays lost, and Jonathan's still very salty about that.
That's an understatement after that.
In a really solid series.
I am wondering if it's a coach. I am stuck, y'all.
I think it's one of the situations where you know too much information, and that's stymieing you.
It's really hurting me. Okay, well, I'm not going to sit here and take all night, guys. I'm going to lock in. I'm locked in.
So to recap. All right. So the first question, 300 years ago in 1720, who was named Astronomer Royal in the UK, a post he held until his death in 1742? No truth to the rumor he came back to it after about 3/4 of a century.
All right. So I think that the clue is a reference to a comet making its way back around that comes around about every 70 years, which was named after a guy named Halley. So I said Halley.
I also said Halley.
I think it's 76 years to be precise. I said Halley.
And I thought they were talking about the War of 1812, so I locked in with Flag. He was some dude named Flag.
Your deliberation on that was just like my deliberation with those Dodgers, dude. It was like, no, he's not getting there.
You're going to kick yourself because I think I got
I know I'm going to kick myself.
In September of 2020, Rolling Stone republished an updated version of its 500 greatest albums of all time. With number 300, what female Canadian artist checked in with her 1997 album, which is the 9th best-selling album of all time worldwide at over 40 million copies?
The album is Come On Over, so there's my cool points. And I answered Shania Twain.
I said Shania Twain.
I said that 10-year-old Carmela was singing a lot of Shania Twain then, so I went with Shania Twain.
And of course, I guess Alanis Morissette, so there you go.
Oh.
That was ironic, don't you think?
No.
Well, that was just wrong.
You know what, Ben? You learn.
Wow.
Dude.
What MVP and current World Series champion has also bowled in the PBA, with his highest professional score being a perfect 300 during the 2017 World Series of Bowling?
I will go first. I'm sure, Joel, leave in some of that deliberation just for the sake of the torture. Like I said earlier, I watched every game of this World Series. A month ago, I could have named every player on the Dodgers. Tonight, I cannot. I ended up locking in with Corey Seager after a long time because I didn't want to make everybody sit here and wait for me all night.
I've said it before. I'll say it many more times before we're done, that I don't know anything about baseball. However, being as that the opposing team is Jonathan's favorite team, I did know that it was the Dodgers that won. And there is a name that Chris had pointed out and made a comment to Jane Carmichael about a guy named Mookie. And if it's not this guy, I don't know any other name. I said Betts.
So I was thinking, okay, AL MVP, current champion. I know the Dodgers were champions. Like, okay, who played in the AL is on that team? I can only think of one guy, and that's Mookie Betts.
And I also said Mookie Betts.
Carmela, I pray to God you bet enough to beat me. Because if I would have won because I forgot Mookie Betts, I will literally be distraught. My heart will have extreme pain.
And also, remember, Scott Barber is a big Red Sox fan.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
Is that who he used to play for?
Yes.
Oh, but like if it wasn't that guy and if it wasn't for the fact that Chris had made that joke to Jane after they won, I wouldn't have known. I'm like, if it's not this guy, this is the only name I know, then I have no way of knowing.
That's what makes you a good trivia player.
Sure is. In the big
That right there.
in the big game where the Rays had to come back with the bottom of the ninth with 2 outs, I thought it was Mookie who had misplayed the ball in center field. It was Chris Taylor. And yeah, Peterson was playing left, and that's why I couldn't think of the left fielder because I'd already named him. I hadn't named the actual center fielder, and that's what happened just now.
So your first question, 300 years ago in 1720, who was named Astronomer Royal in the UK? Post he held until his death, 1742. No truth to the rumor. He came back to it after about 3/4 of a century. This comet does come back every 75 to 75 years, or 75 to 76 years, but it is Edmund Halley. Halley's Comet is the reference.
So Halley or Haley's?
Well, I've never heard anybody pronounce it Holly before. I've heard Haley.
I've heard it both. I heard it Haley the entire time I was growing up, and then somewhere it changed. But I can read it
Haley.
Anyway.
No, you're good.
It's the right answer.
we all know we all know what you mean. It's cool.
Yeah, Edmund Halley.
Yeah.
Haley's Comet. Halley's Comet. You say tomato.
Tomato.
I say Bratislava. We understand.
Second question. In September 2020, Rolling Stone republished an updated version of its 500 greatest albums of all time with number 300. What female Canadian artist checked in with her 1997 album, which is the 9th best-selling album of all time worldwide at over 40 million copies? I put 1997 in there to lead you away from Jagged Little Pill from 1995. The answer is Come On Over by Shania Twain. Shania Twain is the correct answer we were looking for.
That was a good pull, Carmela. I was when you said Celine Dion, it was like, oh, that's such a big star, man. If she goes Dion, that's a totally good answer.
That was my point, was to basically get it narrowed down between Celine Dion, something, or this album, Shania Twain. So that was kind of my logic with, you've at least got a coin flip with this question. So. Mm-hmm. And last question, what former AL MVP and current World Series champions also bowled in the PBA, highest professional bowling score of 300 ironically, during the World Series of Bowling in 2017. And this was a wink and a nod to maybe my favorite episode of all time that I've not been involved in, Trivial Warfare 278. Your name is Mookie now. Mookie Betts.
That was a great show.
That was a great show.
So,
Mookie.
Chris and Carmela both got them all right. Ben, we'll start with you. What did you wager?
Yeah, so I was trying to be ambitious to say maybe I can still win it. So I was like, well, if Carmela bets to lock out Jonathan and misses, she's going to finish with 81 points. So I bet 32, hoping I would end with 82. So I bet 32.
So you finished with 18.
Yep.
I bet it all, and I will finish with 0. Chris, what did you wager?
Honestly, it's funny hearing Ben, who is amazing at math, and talk about his wager. I didn't see any possible wager that I can make that could catch Carmela if she got it right. And so, I mean, if she got it right, but even if she got it wrong with betting up against you, Jonathan. And so I just wanted to keep some points, so I bet 0.
All right. Carmela, you obviously have won the game because you got it right and you had the most points going in. I'm begging you to have wagered. In fact, I want you to lie to me. If you did not wager 41 or higher, I want you to lie to me right now. What did you wager?
I'm going to have to lie to you. I wagered 39.
Oh, my God.
I went the safe route. I wasn't sure what was going to happen.
I lost this game because I couldn't pull Mookie bets.
The Dodgers win again.
Oh, that's rough, dude.
Oh, that is rough.
Does this top the Hall of Fame, Baseball Hall of Fame question?
Oh, man. I'm certainly more upset about it than I was about the Hall of Fame question. Yeah. I am upset.
You're not raging the way you did back then, though.
No, that was epic. That was an epic meltdown.
And the thing is, you were all over it. You had everything except for the one guy.
I already said what happened. Peterson came up playing center field and is a really good center fielder. Mm-hmm. They moved him to left, and I forgot that they had moved him to left. So I was searching for a left fielder, and I was never going to find Mookie Betts there.
I cannot tell y'all how much I almost gave you the answer when you were going through your deliberation. I'm like, it's just unfair like the baseball gods. There's no way the baseball gods gives me the right answer and doesn't give you the right answer. I'm like, I want to tell them so bad. That's not. But knowing you, the person of integrity you are, you would have hated that I've done. You would not have wanted me to do that.
I would have had to disqualify my answer from that question.
Yeah.
With a final score of 159 to 50 to 18 to 0, Carmela Smith is your champion of episode 300. Well deserved.
Well done. Well played. Well done.
Dominant performance. If you look at that first round, or if you look at that first half, y'all, it was 50 to 30 to 20 to 10. After round 2, it was 30 to 10 to 10. No, it was 30 to 10 to nothing.
Yeah. Again, I said this was a tough set going in. I said going into this was a tough set, but it's only, again, it's a testament to how good all of you are, because you've taken all the easy to medium to even difficult questions off of the board out of the pool of availability for this game. So again, I look at this as like, you guys have really come a long way as far as being trivia players. So I see this as a game that just shows how good all of you actually are.
Oh, so we appreciate that. I think that it's definitely clear that we've come a long way from the stuff that we were struggling with in episode 30.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we all agree with you.
Again, the questions I left out were equally as hard, if not harder.
Give us an example. What was a question you left out?
Category music. What heavy metal band co-founder and guitarist had a brief stint with Jethro Tull in 1968, but left after only 2 performances?
Wow. Is it Dave Mustaine?
No.
I got
nothing either.
Yeah.
You originally all guessed Jimmy Page.
Oh.
It's Tommy Iommi from
Black Sabbath.
I was going to say, at 12:30, I got nothing.
That's a well-written question, though. That's not the writer's fault.
Yeah.
But again, it's just a hard question.
Yeah.
That's the thing is, I'm like, God, who's going to know Tommy Iommi? Okay, despite a rule against it, what state did put a living person on its state quarter from episode 164?
Whoa.
So I need the state. 1 out of 50 shot.
A living person on their state quarter.
Hawaii?
Arizona?
Arizona is what you said last time.
Crap.
Ohio.
Right. Ohio's correct.
Oh.
Do you know who it was? Do you know who the living person
do
was?
not know who it was.
It's Neil Armstrong.
Yeah. I was wondering if it was presidential, but there was something that stuck. Obviously, I didn't just pull Ohio out of a hat.
Right.
Yeah, and of course, Neil Armstrong is no longer alive. So
right. That's the other thing is that Neil Armstrong's no longer alive. So,
but he was when the quarter was released.
When he was,
right.
Again, I would have had to have reworded that.
Yeah.
So, and again, I tried to avoid that. But July 16th, 1945, the U.S. Army detonated the first nuclear device starting the atomic age. What was the code name for the first detonation of a nuclear device?
No.
The code name for it was not Little Boy.
No.
Kablooey.
No, this is going to be the code name for the tests.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Guesses of Manhattan Project and Hollywood were previously done. The answer is Trinity. Trinity.
Whoa.
Again. Hard.
All right. Well, that's pretty cool. We would all miss that one
and
again.
I mean, I could go. There's 10 more that are just same level of difficulty here that are just
3 out of 4 of those backup questions we missed. All of us.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying.
Crazy.
I mean, the ability that I just think these are just hard questions.
Yeah.
Right.
So nobody should feel bad about missing them. It's just there's a reason y'all missed them the first time around.
You ain't wrong. Well, that's going to wrap us up. So I want to give everybody a chance. We don't get to do it often, but shout outs, promote causes you care about. Scott, we'll start with you.
Well, I always shout out Sin 6. They know I love them, so just get that out of the way right off the top. But really shout out, again, you all had a chance to say it at the beginning of the show, what the show's meant to you. This show, I mean, I say this to Jonathan in person. He gets embarrassed about it, but I can't help but say it again. It's benefited my life tremendously. It's given me friends and acquaintances that I'd never know if it weren't for the show. And these are people that I consider true, really good, close friends now, people that I really know and love in my life. So the big head fake of this entire show, the entire community is it's about trivia. It's not about trivia. It's about the relationships. That's what I love the most about this show and this community is the relationships. And I cannot wait for this awful pandemic to go away so we can all hang out again in person, and looking very, very much forward to that. So thank you again for everything you've done to build all of this, what you consider your life's work.
Amen. Carmela.
So I got a couple things, if that's okay.
Yeah.
First thing, I want to shout out my partner, Waco. I talk about him fairly often on the show, but I do want to shout him out. He's an incredibly supportive partner, has been incredibly supportive of me doing the show over the last almost 6 years now. The time I've spent away, the time this year that I've actually spent recording in our home, which is not normal for us. So I greatly appreciate him, and he's been a giant support for me in doing this. The other thing I want to shout out is a cause. If you are so inclined, and if it has any meaning for you, consider volunteering if you can. Of course, we're in the middle of a pandemic. Please don't put yourself in any undue risk, or donate to the American Cancer Society. Since we are in the middle of a pandemic, cancer patients especially are vulnerable. Of course, we've recently lost Alex Trebek. I have some stuff in my family that I'm dealing with right now. If that cause has any meaning for you, or if it's affected your life at all, I would ask that you consider donating to the American Cancer Society.
Thank you. Ben, you're up.
I just want to say, thank you to all of those who listened. I want to say thank you to all of you for just giving me so much joy and allowing me to be part of this. I say all the time, I'm not a good trivia player, and y'all try to convince me that I am. And I think today's show proves that I'm not very good.
No, it doesn't.
No,
it doesn't.
Tough show.
You got 30 points less than me, and I think I am a good trivia player.
Yeah, well,
I'm not a great trivia player, though. Sorry, Ben.
I emulate a lot of what Scott said, that all the people I spend 95% of the time now talking and communicating with the people that I've met through this show. And what I would really say in terms of a cause is kindness. It's something that seems so simple, but it can be difficult to do sometimes. And the world is in need of love and kindness. So, where you have an opportunity to be kind instead of mean, choose kindness, because we just need more of that in the world.
Absolutely. Thank you, Ben. Chris.
Well, first off, I want to obviously give a shout out to my very supportive, very caring wife, Angie. One of the best parts about this show is that y'all have had a chance to really get to know Angie throughout the course of us dating and then being married. Heck, Carmela's helped house sit for us when we've been gone on various trips and whatnot.
Mostly that's Waco, but yeah.
Well, that's why I said helped. You have assisted.
It's another reason he's awesome.
That is so true. Yes, absolutely. Go Waco, go. We appreciate you, brother. But she is just anytime the show needs to be recorded, she never says a thing. It's like, absolutely, you do your thing, enjoy yourself, just have fun, and that's always just a blessing. And she's just it's cool to have one of your best friends hanging out with you on a regular basis, let alone be married to you. So that's pretty awesome. I just want to say again, Jonathan, this has been an amazing 301 episodes, and
350 with the bonuses.
That's true.
350.
And I just can't thank you enough for everything. I can't thank you enough for taking a little weird idea that I was doing before the shows just to kind of get us flowing a little bit, and that became Warm It Up Chris. The oddness of saying, hey, you know what? Maybe we should make a show about trivia and call it Warfare because we want to fight each other. And just the fact that you always listen to my ideas, no matter how stupid they might be, and say, you know what? Maybe we can work on something like that. And I'm very appreciative of you on that. To everybody that's listened, to Carmela and Ben, who I love, just thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I got caught up in the thing I was talking about, but I do want to thank all of you, my three guys in front of me. I do love each and every one of you. Gotten to know you guys quite well over the last few years. I do consider you my family, which is probably why I've managed to maintain that relationship for so long. But I do love every single one of you. And I do appreciate every single person who has tuned into us over the years. If you've ever downloaded an episode or listened to any of our shows, I love each and every one of you. So thanks.
And then from my side, I reiterate, obviously, and I don't want to just restate, but something something that I observe and something that I see is the way that our audience and our friends and the folks who engage with the show change over time. And what's cool, it's like waves of people come in and engage heavily and then find each other and build friendships and then almost kind of shift into their own space. And so I've been parts of probably 20 or 30 different groups of people in personal chats and whatnot who may not even use the Facebook group anymore, but they're still out there. They're still listening, or some of them may not be, but they've found friendships and they've found groups and they've created groups. And so as people, I just want to encourage everybody who's participating and engaging. Your tribe members are there. Find them, reach out to them, be outgoing, make your friends, and you'll never believe how good of friends they can be. And then a huge thank you with the utmost serious to our patrons. It's no lie the amount of impact that you all have had on everything that we do. Without our patrons, we would not be doing Blitz. We would not be doing Things That Are Blank. We would not be doing Foreplay. I would still be spending a significant amount of time every week editing the show personally. We would not have traveled as much as we have. We would not have seen as many people as we have. We would not be doing so many of the things that we kind of get to take for granted now. And we get that luxury because of you as patrons. That is just amazing. And I recognize you, I acknowledge you, and I thank you.
Well said.
And that's going to wrap us up, guys. So for Scott, for Carmela, for Ben, and for Chris, I'm Jonathan. This has been episode 300 of Trivial Warfare, where it's not just trivia, it's war. Bye, everybody.
Take care, everybody.
Thanks for listening to Trivial Warfare. Be sure to check out the revamped TrivialWarfare.com as your one-stop shop to submit questions, join the community, and get access to over 150 archived episodes. Warm It Up was written and performed by Matthew Stevens. This episode was edited and produced by me, Joel Sharpton. For help with your podcast, visit propodcastingservices.com.
That's a wrap. Oh, whoa.
And Carmela's out.
She gone.
She gone.
I don't know what happened, but she peace out. For anybody who thinks that any of us sound weird, you can blame Scott Barber for making us record at 9 p.m.
I didn't make anyone. Okay.
It makes the highs so much higher, though, when you get one.
Yes.
You're like,
yes.
It's a win. It's a win. It's a solid.
I'll let
so
you know how I feel when I get one. I'll let you know.
Hey, I'll be right back. I'm going to go say goodnight to Angie real fast.
All right.
Never mind, she is zonked out on the couch.
Technically, you could still say goodnight, but
You said goodnight, but you were sleeping, baby.
I know, right? I think he's frozen. Oh, crap.
No.
Let it go, Elsa.
Nice.
Come back to me, Scott.
Scott,
I've missed you.
want to build a snowman. Well, I'm just going to give us credit, y'all.
Me too?
No,
Like,
not
fuck it.
you.
Just give us all credit.
Oh,
There he is.
there he
He's back.
I'm back.
Yay.
Sorry, froze up.
We all spelled it. So do you want to go ahead and tell us the right answer?
I think he's frozen again.
No, I saw him blink.
Oh.
No, I'm here.
we all
Okay.
answered.